So much to do in the city of Kamloops. You have hiking, freshwater sports, the wineries, golf, and this week it's all about the curling, the Scotties. It's tight near the top of Pool A here in BC. 5 teams, all with 2 losses, trying to avoid a third.
Look out. Oh, goodness.
It's full steam ahead for Nova Scotia. At 4-2, Christina Black is on course for the championship pool. After a slow start, Alberta has rebounded 3 straight wins. Will rookie skip Kayla Skrlik continue the hot streak? Alberta, Nova Scotia, drop 14 as the Scotties continues. Great look at the Sandman Center. Day 6 already. Scotties Tournament of Hearts, and Wednesday, always really moving day when you see the teams elevate, pull ahead, and try make the playoffs. Our feature, Alberta taking on Nova Scotia. Both those teams very much in the hunt. In the meantime, draw 13 this morning, and we'll focus in on Quebec. Laurie St. George taking on Suzanne Burt PEI. This in the 8th end. This the draw, and keep in mind, coming off a great win last night versus wildcard 1, Caitlin Laws. St. George not slowing down, confidence ramping up. There was 3, she wouldn't look back. Another win for Quebec, 8-4 over Suzanne Burt. Saskatchewan, Silvernagle, 13-4. They had a 7 in that game in an end. Jennifer Jones continues to find a way. Extra end win, 7-6. She stole it versus Scheidegger, and Rachel Holman is looking like the 3-time champ right now, 9-5 over wild card 3. So, as we talked about, Wednesday, moving day, it's getting a little more clear. Anderson into the playoffs, Pool A. Jennifer Jones, 6-1 into the playoffs, Pool B. Top 3 teams will qualify, and that makes this afternoon key. Look at Nova Scotia, Black, 4-2 record, looking for another win. Come on inside the Sandman Center. Glad you're watching our coverage on TSN. Brian Mudrick, Scotties champion, Joanne Courtney, Russ Howard, Kathy Gauthier is standing by. Jennifer Jones now, the 6-time champ, on a 6-game winning streak at the Scotties. And Joe, she continues to always find a way.
And this is classic Jennifer Jones. She steals the most wins out of any skip out there. If you leave that door open a crack, she's going to burst through.
Christina Black, meantime, part of her feature, Nova Scotia won a bronze medal back in 2018 in Penticton. They have the tools to make the playoffs. However, Russ, they nearly learned the hard way that you cannot take any team lightly.
That's absolutely right, and we've all learned that the hard way. Bridget McVale has won a game. You kind of pencil that in, that this is the soft one. This is our win. We'll worry about the next game. Well, Bridget had different ideas in that game. They made a ton of shots, and it's funny. Team Canada makes a great shot. You're like, oh, well, I was used to it. Bridget makes a great shot, and the team got really down Nova Scotia. The communication stopped. The shot-making stopped. They have to turn that around.
Meantime, Kayla Skrlik really finding some momentum. Joe, we were talking earlier today. You think Alberta can make the playoffs. Why?
Yeah, they started this event new to the Scotties for the lead in the skip, and they lost 2 games they shouldn't have. In this format, that's a disaster. But instead, they've bounced back. They look like the same team, winning, losing, making shots, missing shots. They have such a cool demeanor. If they can lean on that and not realize they have a chance to make the playoffs, I think they're going to do a great job today.
The last time a rookie skip won the Scotties, way back in 1990, that was Allison Goring out of Ontario, as Kayla will try to do that this year in Kamloops. First drop.
We've all represented Alberta before, so we're used to the pressure, and we hope to have some good communication out there, make some good shots, and really be good teammates out there.
We know that if we can just trust each other, support each other, and then help each other make the shots, that we'll have the opportunity to win, and then we'll be around at the end of the week, and that's where we want to be.
The 2023 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is presented by Cashmere Bathroom Tissue. Nothing feels like it. By PointsBet Canada, the official sportsbook of Curling Canada. By BKT Tires and OK Tire. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Curling Canada.
Welcome back to Kamloops. A lot of critical games on the ice as you look at New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Labrador. Andrea Kelly trying to get back to the podium. How about Laz Grandy over on sheet D? Both 3-2, both want win number 4. And Krista McCarville, remember, in the head-to-head, she beat Jennifer Jones, so she wants to try keep rolling and possibly have that little nugget as a tiebreaker in getting that little bye. Our feature is on sheet B. It is time to meet the teams, brought to you by Home Hardware. Here's how. And we'll begin with Team Alberta out of the Garrison Curling Club in Calgary. Kayla Skrlik, Brittany Tran, Jerry Lynn Ramsey, and Ashton Skrlik. And for Team Nova Scotia out of the Dartmouth Curling Club, lead Shelley Barker at second, Carly Everest, third, Jen Baxter, and your skip, Christina Black. Rock colors for our feature this afternoon. It is Team Alberta, the Redstones, Nova Scotia, the Yellowstones. It is Nova Scotia winning that draw to the button to earn the hammer. So to start our action off here from Kamloops, it is the Alberta lead, Ashton Skrlik. And Joe, we had a great conversation about this Alberta team. Obviously the rookies are Kayla and Ashton. Brittany and Jerry Lynn have been here before. To your mind, what has to go right on this team for them to qualify for the playoffs?
For me, it's more of the same. They have gotten into a groove after their first 2 games. Even the first 2 games, they looked okay out there. Could have finished them off, and they didn't. Last 3, they've been fantastic, and they just need to focus on staying in that moment and not getting too far ahead of themselves, Brian.
Behind the tee line, I thought we'd see a corner guard go up, but with the struggles in last night's game, I don't think this is wrong.
Pretty impressive. The draw for hammer, Alberta was a good part of the button and then biting the button, and Nova Scotia still wins the hammer. Both teams are drawing well.
So, Russ, one of the storylines, Mike Merklinger, the head ice technician, obviously it was full disclosure. Every athlete knew they were going to texture the stones. I know you never miss any morning draws with Kathy and I. You're up early. I know you're our biggest fan.
100%.
I'm just curious if you indeed did notice anything or any difference this morning and going forward.
The fascinating thing, and it's a credit to Mike and crew, it was virtually the same. As a matter of fact, I had a couple people text me and say they didn't do the rocks. Well, they did do the rocks. And that's brilliant because as an athlete, the last thing you want is a different surface every time you come out here. And so to sand the rocks at a curling club, you can change it from 2 feet to 6 feet by sanding them. What Mike did was he sanded them lightly and then he's clipping less. And there's that balance. The less you clip, the straighter it is. The more you sand the rocks, the more it curls. And he got that balance. So when they walked out there this morning, it looked virtually identical, other than some of the last foot on a draw they might grind in and curl. But so that allows Mike going forward, because the rocks are so sharp, to start clipping a little more. So by the championship weekend, it should be perfect.
Can't yet. Nope. I don't think you can at all.
That's good.
Good. Nice shot. Good one, Chill. Tight.
All right, keys to the game, and let's begin with Team Alberta.
They are trending in the right direction, Brian. They started 17th in stats. Now they're second in stats. They're 3-0 in their last games. They're moving in the right direction. They also need to control the front. This team has a phenomenal hitting ability in the back end. Brittany Tran made some beautiful precision clearing shots yesterday. Kayla Skrlik has that shot in her back pocket. Control the front, and you can capitalize late in these ends.
Okay, we can go top 4 then. 4-6. That's okay, Jer.
Noise. Yeah.
Roll nose is okay.
Well, for Nova Scotia,
Like
Brian, it's park it. We've documented it in the opening. Christina Black was 61% last night. So the glass has to be half full for this wonderful skip. She has made more highlight shots as a skip than anybody in this building. So build on the good shots.
Keys to the game, brought to you by Scotties Facial Tissue Unleash the Scotties.
Really close.
And Joe, to your point, when you look at team percentages, Alberta second only to Carrie Anderson thus far this week. That is impressive for a rookie skip and a rookie lead.
Yeah, it's so easy in these events, especially when you're new to it. You know everyone is watching you. You've finally broken through. You have a chance to make a name for yourself. It's so tempting to be following those percentages and looking and seeing how you're doing and maybe how you're being perceived. And Kayla's talked a lot about her focus on mental performance, and for someone who hasn't reached the big stage to already have invested in that, you can tell she's staying in the moment and isn't thinking too far ahead, and that's what you need.
Pretty cool moment for this young woman, Jerry Lynn Ramsey, beating PEI yesterday. The story with Jerry Lynn, of course, making it all the way to the final with Prince Edward Island, with Kathy O'Rourke back in 2010, Sault Ste. Marie. So second Scotties appearance, trying to get right back to a second Scotties final.
I think you need a 25 here, Carly.
Yeah.
Yeah?
There's been a couple down here.
Yeah, that's true.
It'll be all right.
Okay, it's the same as like yesterday.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was searching for some intel on this Nova Scotia team. I've played them a few times over the years at Scotties, but there was a quote from Christina Black after she won their provincials, and she describes their strategy as patient aggressiveness. They're very comfortable with rocks in play, but they aren't going to sell the farm early in these ends. They played some hit and rolls, got the rock off the button, ended up able to put up a corner guard, and now they're going to use it because the Alberta Stone is out of the button and just touching the forefoot.
And we welcome in our good friend Kathy Goche. Kathy.
Well, for Andrea Kelly, she does not enjoy the number 3. It is the number of losses she has, and it's also the number of points she gave up in the 9th end to lose last night in a game that she controlled. Needs to bounce back. She takes on Newfoundland and Labrador. Krista McCarville, you talked about her chasing Jennifer Jones, who won earlier today, Muddy, but she plays Haley Burney from Yukon. If you remember, that's a team that beat Casey Scheidegger and took Rachel Holman to her last rock, so that is not easy. And then a really tough contest. 2 teams with 2 losses don't want to lose, but they take on each other. Caitlin Laws coming off a loss last night. Clancy Grandy coming off a win, but it was over 24 hours ago in this building.
And you know what's exciting? You're Team BC, you got the crest on your back, you're playing in your home province, and she'd love to get a little momentum going, make that playoff, and get some fan support as the weekend ramps up. Thank you, Kathy.
I don't know. Uh-oh.
10! Roll! Go! Carly! Carly, go!
Yep.
Sally! Start! Whoa, whoa, whoa. I missed
Jennifer
that.
Baxter.
Queen. We're going to just roll 2.
Will hit and
Okay. 9-6.
roll across. That'll settle back 4.
That's fine. Yeah, just try to get clean.
Yeah.
Hit and roll. Nose is fine. Yeah. Control. You got it.
Trying to roll away, but it doesn't really make this next shot any harder. The angle will be similar. So just don't roll out.
9.
Third
Clean.
Scotties
Yeah, clean.
for
Yeah.
Brittany Tran.
Yep.
Played in the bubble in Calgary.
Yeah.
A wild card team with Beth Peterson. And 2019 City, Nova Scotia, playing with Carrie Galusha.
And you roll, Ashton. Roll it. Catch it. Roll, 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 roll. Keep going, keep going. Oh, this broom. I got 10-3. Yeah.
Couldn't do much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the double's still there if they choose to take it on. They might just hit and roll over.
Okay, you got it. Right at it.
And that tells you, for some teams, well, mind you, always one hammer, but that stands out 4-0. Starting with last rock and 0-2 without.
Catch it. Hi, girl.
Atta girl.
Little catch, little bump, and just enough. Nice shot, Jennifer Baxter.
I need to let wall at the end, but I think that's still in. I didn't want to lose. Just needed to come up a hair.
Very nice.
Darn.
Great.
It's fast.
Yeah, sorry about my draw.
I like taking on the double when you can there. You could have rolled back, but if Alberta rolls perfect the other way, now there's no double.
Yeah, top forward, like top button.
It's really not hard to throw.
Was perfect back home at Alberta Provincials, beating Casey Scheidegger in the provincial final. Scheidegger here as Team Wildcard 2.
Top 8. You can go if you need. I'm good. You're curling now.
We're all there. I think we're all there.
I see the stopwatches are out here. Joe, what are we looking at early on?
Nice cross here. 5-3.
It's a 15-3. That is very nice speed. That's the hog-to-hog time. It's use to relate time and to monitor the ice and see how the paths are running. 15-3 is a very nice speed.
Is that similar to when we started off Friday night?
Yeah, really close, even maybe a little faster.
Yeah.
And curlers love fast ice. It's nice for the sweepers because you feel like you can drag it that little bit extra.
Okay. A titch.
She has been a highlight reel so far this week. 5th Scotties appearance for Black, 2nd time as skip.
10, clean,
Working a lot with Marianne Arsenault over the years when they teamed up. And great run in Penticton in BC, a 10-3 record back in 2018, winning that bronze medal.
9-6. Oh, 10-6? 9-6. Oh, 9-6. Wow. That was fast.
This team was 5-4 in Thunder Bay.
I thought you said 10-6, nope. And then we were like, oh. Yeah.
That was Christina's first Scotties as a skip after playing so many years with Marianne Arsenault.
Speed feels really
And you
nice.
see Carly there, born in Thunder Bay, now lives in Bedford, Nova Scotia.
Well, like the young team with Jennifer Jones, this team from Nova Scotia would learn a ton from Marianne.
Oh, what's wrong with the rock?
Kayla's signaling the X. That's to stop their time clock. She wants the official to come
the
over.
rock just isn't lighting up. That's fine. You can throw it okay.
Yeah, first draw, Ashton Skrlik had a hog line violation, her first rock of the game, and then Kayla's handle was concerning, so she had the official come and watch from the hog line, just a matter of resetting.
Hard piece, Britt.
And this is a bit outside. Carving over hard just to get a piece of the stone, and that's a good job by Brittany Tran to carve that in to get a piece.
Oh, yeah.
And the blank is on here in the first end.
Almost just can't set those at all. That works. Yeah.
Yeah,
Annoying with the rock, though.
you can hear that talk. You can't set it at all outward, and you'd think with freshly sanded rocks you could, but that's how close they've got the clipping rock management. If anything, some of those might be a little straighter.
So a freebie here for Christina Black. Gets to test out a piece of ice, throwing a little out turn to the wings.
What? Oh, no, a 10. Good.
We are underway in our feature. Just about 6 p.m. local time. Back in Nova Scotia for fans cheering on Christina Black versus Kayla Skrlik and Team Alberta. Welcome back to Canada's tournament capital. That is Kamloops, BC, and Kamloops doing a wonderful job thus far, having a great time here at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts on this Wednesday afternoon. A blank in the first end, and again rocks in play here to start the second. It is once again Nova Scotia with hammer as they deliver the yellow rocks.
Here's that patient aggressiveness again. Alberta went into the rings, top button. Nova Scotia hit it, and then Alberta rolled away a little bit. That rock is no longer limiting the scoring area, so they will throw up the corner. Can't be removed or touched until the 6th rock of the end.
I've only seen it 3 times from memory this week, but I just love that delayed corner because it takes all the pressure off Nova Scotia, and you get to throw this one up, and Alberta can't do much about it. You can get yourself into big trouble if you leave a couple down the middle.
Keep it moving. Keep it moving. 16. You got
It puts a lot of pressure on the leads to make that precision hit. You throw 1 to 2 hits a game maybe, but it has to be on the nose or has to make the perfect roll.
Let's get things rolling. Update time, Kathy Gauthier, and this is a big-time game for New Brunswick and Andrea Kelly.
Well, remember I said when you asked me about the sheets that how much Andrea Kelly doesn't like threes. Well, she's about to give up one potentially after a good hit and roll under by Stacey Curtis to lie 2. Andrea was attempting to draw to the 4-foot and came short of the house. And so this is a draw for 3, needs full 8-foot.
Stacey Curtis out of the Remax Center in St. John's, trying to pull New Brunswick back to loss number 4 as well.
Nice.
And that is very nice. So a great start
Perfect.
for Stacey Curtis and her team.
Slow kick. Doesn't feel like mine. Yeah. Right at her.
Trying to roll on top or buried?
Thought they were trying to roll underneath their guard.
Okay.
Might make contact with the other red.
It's really hooking.
Second Scotties appearance for Carly Everest.
I was trying to make a double, but I couldn't even.
And across and rolling and out.
Good sweep. 10. 10? Yeah, it was
She
lots
mentioned
of
a
weight.
couple
It was
times,
heavy.
Joanne,
Let's just
that
tip it on
soft
her.
release isn't going to cut it with these rocks.
Yeah, that's been a trend even before they did the rocks. On a hit, if you let the rock get away on you at all, don't quite tell it what to do, it takes off.
Whoa! Ashton, clean.
Good shot,
Where
Jerry.
does the shooter go? Little tickle on the yellow and goes out. So a blank on sheet C. And over on sheet D, wild card 1 in British Columbia. Lancy Grandi, a 1-0 advantage. Caitlin Laws with hammer in 2.
That's a big game, too.
10-5. 10-3. Clean. 10-3. Yep. Right to it. What'd you get? Got a 10-4. Yeah. Nice throw. Good one.
So if anything, banking a little bit of time here in our feature game.
Yeah, I thought you might see Nova Scotia throw a few corners. We've seen, especially with the rocks being a bit different, maybe that inside-out peel would be a bit challenging putting the broom down. We've seen some nose hits on those peels. We've seen some flashes.
Clean.
Absolutely.
Clean.
If they go wide side, it's not going to curl.
Clean. Ashton. Holy cow.
It's if anything, it's straighter than it's ever been with some of the hits.
That was a good throw.
Keep an eye on that.
Front's nice here. Good sweep.
You know, Russ, you were saying that it's straighter, and I think that that's actually catching the curlers. Brian and I saw that this morning. The curlers are warned last night that they're going to texture the stones. Everyone is preparing for more curl, bigger finish, and this morning it definitely caught both teams because the opposite actually happened.
Yeah, exactly. It's hard to believe you could touch up the rocks and get it straighter, but that's because of the less clipping.
You almost wonder if Mike, between this draw and the next, will do something a little bit different so that it actually encourages more curl.
Right, I think you're right. All he has to do is they clip about once the rocks are good like this, they clip maybe an ounce of snow on each sheet. He'll just go to 1.5 ounces, 1.75 ounces, and he can get much more curl. But you're right, I'd be prepared in the night game.
Yes.
But Kathy, in our conversations this morning and watching Rachel Holman, who was dynamite and was really the Rachel Holman we expect to see this time of week, and as you alluded to, sort of the veteran players that have been there, done that, should catch on to it a little bit earlier, and I thought Rachel had the advantage in our game.
She definitely did. She knows the conditions, and they also made sure they had a lot of extra rotation so that if the rocks were a little bit sharper, that it wasn't going to catch them.
10-5.
It's the thing with arena ice, even if they hadn't touched the rocks, you can't assume that it's going to be the same every time. There's so many different factors. It's a living, breathing thing. Crowd size, temperature outside, humidity, they can all have an effect on how that ice is going to run. So the teams have to come into games with an idea of what to expect and with how they want to throw the rock and manage the conditions, but they also have to deal with what they have. And we see teams figuring it out in the first half and then playing their strongest in the second half. And those are the teams that win championships.
Worst.
Absolutely.
Locked on to the action. Love it.
See like 1 inch of ice for this. Probably throw about a 9.5, 10 second, the normal weight hit. They should be able to hold it out here.
Little down.
One of the few times I can finally say Skip Stones here in 2, not 4th rock thrower.
Right.
Yeah, there
Roll
you go.
it, roll it. Good, Kels.
Point the jam, roll it over.
Good sweep.
It's hard to look at as a thrower out in the weeds like that. The broom is almost in the middle of the rock, and you're just throwing that light control weight. There's this feeling that, oh man, but it could curl because I'm throwing it so light. So
Yeah, most people whip it there, right?
So, Joe, as you talked about that start for Alberta, Laws, Silvernagle, and to your point earlier, 2 games that they really could have won.
yeah, and you imagine the debrief, they probably said, hey, we could have won those, so let's keep going strong. And you see that they have just that mental toughness, and they've come out strong and looked very composed out there since.
So you see Anderson and British Columbia to close out. But listen, if you want to be the best, why not be tested by Team Canada Carrie Anderson?
11.
See what you got.
Okay, just clean, clean, clean. We're just going to roll a bit this way. Okay, change up a bit. Yep. Okay, good. Good. That felt like that
Yeah,
before.
31 points this young team from Alberta scored in the 3 wins.
Nose is fine.
I don't mind. Okay. Okay. So what do you have here? Where do you have?
Edge, edge.
Okay.
Kathy, Northern Ontario, trying to keep up with the Joneses literally and get win number 6, taking on Yukon.
Well, the yellow stone that is shot was the final stone thrown by Haley Burney, trying to freeze to those red stones. She tapped them back, and for Krista trying to get to the crotch of those 2 yellows, if she can be in the middle, pop both sideways, it could be for 4.
Wow.
This looks tough. That corner guard is in the way a little bit for her.
It is tough. She can get to just the inside. Joe, well, that's the plan.
Whoa, whoa, no, no,
It's
no,
on
no,
the
no,
way.
no. Kendra, go.
Final stone. Krista McCarville.
Kendra.
Kendra Lilly on the brush. It's a chance for a big score by the guard. 1-2. Tickle the yellow. And it will be 1, 2, and maybe 3, Kath?
I think 3.
3 red.
Okay.
Great shot, Krista McCarville. Great start as she looks for win number 6.
Big chunk of dirt.
And for Christina Black and Team Nova Scotia, started out with that win and a loss to Laws. Back-to-back wins. Anderson, obviously always tough. And then the rebound game against Nunavut. And that one, though, Kathy, it wasn't really their best game, but they found a way. Final stone. And an opportunity for another blank.
Let it go.
Want to spill the shooter. It's close. Hit it, roll it. No problem.
Okay, good.
Come on, never in doubt there, Russ. They had that the whole way.
Good sweeping. I knew as long as I didn't hit 3/4, I would go.
All right, couple blanks. We'll step aside as Nova Scotia with Hammer once again when we come back to Kamloops. Day 6, Scotties here in Kamloops. Lead stones on the way in our feature, Alberta, Nova Scotia. As Ashton Skrlik delivers, and it looks to me, Russ, like we got game on. A couple stones up front, as now Ashton coming in the house.
You'd have to think, Brian, that everybody knew about the rocks being dusted up. So I would think a lot of the coaches would say, well, you know, let's take it easy. Let's make sure we got it figured out. And you're right. I think the gloves are off here now.
Something I noticed in our first game of the week, watching Kayla Skrlik, if she does not have the hammer, in the even ends she goes in the odd ends she goes tight, because in the even ends, if the other team wants to hit and blanket, she's happy. You always want to start thinking about getting the hammer back for those even ends. So now she's going tight because she really wants to force in an odd end. A little early to think about it, in my opinion. It's a 10-end game. But this seems to be in their playbook, and it's something they've committed to. This is the team's second year together. They all live in Calgary. And that's rare for a team these days. Practice together all the time, and they've come up with their own plan.
Really gotta go. Hard to get by. Oh, shoot. Okay, well. Roll it up. You can just, like, stop.
Joe, when you were, at the Scotties and you have the warm-up before the actual game, for you in particular, what was the biggest thing that you wanted to focus on to get ready for a game that, 15 minutes?
For me, it was my throwing. If I wasn't throwing that last stone draw, I wanted to make sure that I had my top house weight. I didn't need to see my rock on the button, but I wanted to make sure I had the feel for the leg drive of what draw weight should be in the game, and then letting the sweepers sweep it from there. So you always want to have that sweeping weight in your back pocket. But beyond that, as a sweeper, I wanted to have a great feel for it, a great feel for the judge, and put the rock on the pin. If you could pin it before a game, that just gave you so much confidence.
Rock accidentally hit a rock that was on the center line, which has to be replaced if the non-offending team agrees.
And you saw a bit of confusion at the end there. They said, oh, just stop the rock. But you got to let it play out.
Update time, Kathy, over in Sheet D.
Well, Caitlin Laws and her team have been all over BC in this end. It was a wonderful hit and roll underneath by Clancy Grandy against 3 that set them up this end. But Caitlin on her first ignored it and went around to the top of the hearts. And Clancy short on her draw. So this is the exact same shot that Caitlin threw on her first. Needs 4-foot.
More rocks, more aggressive play thus far on this sheet compared to our feature. Kathy, what have you seen?
No question about it. Both teams going hard at each other.
Got to stop. Got to stop for Caitlin Laws, and that'll drift a little bit too far. So just the single and a 1-1 tie between BC and, a little frustration from the two-time Olympic gold medalist there.
Caitlin's such a great player. When she'd already made it the first time, you kind of bank on her making it the second time.
Yeah, we've seen second rock down the same path. Seems to carry a little bit better, but Caitlin also has to manage the jitters and the nerves of throwing that last rock. She threw last in mixed doubles, but this is her first Scotties as a skip. That has to be an adjustment to make.
No question.
Could you guard the guard? Yeah. Do you like the guard for now? Okay. Okay, Jerry.
6-1 here. You could throw soft weight, hit the yellow roll behind the center, but obviously risk. You can throw the center guard here, guard it, but there's obviously a risk.
Line's good. Tight. You can hit rotation. Yeah, that's good. Line's good. Pass. Half high. Leave it high. Leave it high. Oh, you guys. Leave it high. Clean it.
Might curl too far and leave that tap.
You heard Jerry Lynn out of her hand say less rotation. If a rock is spinning less, it will curl more.
7-3. Yeah, a little bit. Just a totally different. It's edge on edge. Just so you know. Same weight. Same throw, I think. Okay. Yeah. You just need to get close to nose.
Okay, it's the same weight then.
Same
Well,
weight.
what an opportunity all of a sudden. If you hit this a little high side, you could potentially sit too buried.
Surprised they're throwing like a control weight here, Russ. You really don't want to lose your shooter here. And they can't see the whole yellow to raise.
Little less. Clean. Pitch less. Clean. Whoa.
Carly Everest trying to take advantage of that opportunity.
Gotta go. Go. Hard.
Got to curl up a little bit more. It's got to curl a little bit more. She'll clip the red. Now both yellows will hang out. And the red is shot stone back four.
It ran way straighter.
Yeah,
It
that's.
just didn't move. I think my other rock's curly. That was just less. Yeah, I know. It didn't curl though. Hard.
Was that not less weight than what they called for, though? Like
Yeah,
the weight
that's
was down, right?
It's funny, and they still missed it wide, so that you learn something as a skip. It's straight with the situation today, and way less, Brian. And luckily for Nova Scotia it was, because at least they kept two in play and kicked that red one out in the open.
And that's what you guys were saying. Maybe that weight, bring it down a little bit so you can do what they actually did, have those two in play.
Yeah, and because Nova Scotia is second and third, Alberta's opting to hit this side rock, which is a good call. If they'd rolled out, you might have seen Alberta draw around the middle of the staggered guards and really put some pressure on.
What turn looks better? This one? You can't roll that way. I think this one's better. Okay.
last rock ran really straight in this path. The berm was almost in the middle of the rock for 10-second control weight hit.
Boy, that's straight.
Love to get to the inside on this.
It's only the third end. We talked the first 3 days about how much early in the game this would curl.
Going hard to try hold it. Hit, little flip, and spinning and rolling over the red and right out.
Top 4.
It just curls there. We need to open up.
Joe, it's so funny. During a long week like this, it's those half shots that add up and must just frustrate you at times.
Yeah, and it's the trickiness. They just missed one on the wide side, so you adjust the broom, and then a different thrower's throwing, and now we've missed on the narrow. So was there a problem with either throw? What's the path doing? It's when you're kind of scratching your head and you don't know the answer. That's the worst part. If you can learn from every shot and come to the answer quickly, that's what feels great. Right now, of course, they're going to be frustrated.
Line's good, I think.
We're close.
Line's good.
Knife it. Knife it. Knife it.
Great chance here for Alberta.
Don't go too deep.
Just top 4. Line's good. Just top 4.
Weight's good.
You heard her say to Jerry, knife it, Joe, knife it. What is that term? What does that mean?
Yeah, so that's a new technique we're seeing when the sweeper is trying to make the rock curl. So the sweeper that the rock is curling away from will come in and sweep, and they turn their broom so it's the skinny way in front of the rock, and they push really hard down and try to make a difference in the heat so that the rock catches the colder pebble and curls more. And when we say knife it, it almost looks a bit like a knife that you're slicing. Right. And it doesn't add a lot of weight when you do that because you're not heating up the whole surface of the rock. So when the sweepers feel that the weight is there, they turn their broom head. If they thought that was light, they would have kept it the long way in front of the rock.
That was close. Hard. Easy. Okay, we're like 6. Close. Oh, you can't bounce on this line. We're going to have to go. Stay close. Yes, Carly. Go hard line. Hard line. Hard. Hard, Carly. Go. Hard.
Big scrub here, Carly Everest. What a great job to drag that. They got a lot out of that stone top 4.
Okay.
Shoot. I should have just trusted like to make it.
Hard line. Hard line. Hard. Hard, Carly. Go.
You see right at the end, Carly gets in behind the rock and she's going back and forth straight in front. That's having your whole brush head on the running surface of the rock.
Okay.
I would have thought she would have gone behind the rock earlier because it was clearly light at that far hog line.
Yeah, for distance.
So you see sweepers adjust their body position, adjust their broom angle. There's a lot happening directionally now in curling.
So sometimes not knifing, you need all the utensils. You gotta use the fork, the knife, the spoon, and just drag that rock.
It's a pretty close freeze attempt there, Russ, but for Nova Scotia, I would have been tempted to clear off the front because that rock of Alberta's is right on the button.
Yeah. You're never outdrawing that thing.
I think we're all there right
Line's
now.
good. Top 8. Top 4. Okay. Top 8. Line's good. Line's good. You're all room. Top 4. Line's good. Careful.
We're all there right now.
Line's good.
Just top 8.
Line's
top
great.
Great.
So
Knife it over. Yep. We're just pupping. Whoa, then. Well, that's okay.
see the way Brittany was trying to make that curl at the far hog line. She could actually afford to have her broom more the skinny way, more that vertical way.
A little bit more carb.
Slash that over the top.
I hate the slash.
Is it dangerous?
Kind of,
It's just peeking out a hair, and they get way more curl than us.
You got
To get it over the top.
Just play double peel then. If you play double peel, what's she doing? She's probably just straight guarding, right? Or do you think she picks?
One first. She's probably guarding.
Okay. So double peel then?
Double peel probably might catch that one too.
Okay. Do you guys like the double peel?
What? Just give me there, I think.
Yeah.
Need to make this one.
I don't think they have any other option though, Russ. They have to clear this up a bit.
Let's just slash that in really thin, but that's
Right here, Tina?
laser eye surgery.
Might have to do that on their last if they make this double peel
Yes.
and the guard is made.
One in the top 12 as well. It's like I either play this or I try and hit the red directly, and it's just too risky. I need a little more, Carly.
Yeah, I like rather this.
All right. Right at her. Yeah.
Trying to clean things up. Up top, Christina Black.
Close. Yes, just got the single. Watch the yellow.
And just the one up top.
Good throw.
That. Just guard this.
Overlapping a little bit.
Like, I think she's going to tap. Yeah. I think she's going to tap, hey?
And I don't want to give her something.
So just try
She's
to...
gonna,
I know,
if we
I
do
guess-
this, she's probably going to...
This is pretty standard, just the red, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's for one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to give her one set of steal?
Yeah, I think so.
So the easiest shot right now for Nova Scotia, and it's not automatic because that yellow is buried around the center, but it would be the top for 2 on the yellow.
Okay,
Come around,
then that's
like, probably,
perfect.
like
Maybe
here?
a hair more.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's also that option, as you pointed out.
Is there enough space by that corner guard?
I think
Russ?
there is. I
Yeah.
think there is.
Just a guard, really. Yeah, top 12, bite the 12 foot, but anywhere tight is fine
Yeah.
on that line. Even high is fine on that line because I don't
Yeah,
think it'll
just
move.
want to be like a foot off center there.
Yeah.
No, so I have to hit
What
it
do you
pretty
think the
thin.
hand's like?
I think you can give us the same kick or if
10
anything.
probably is good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm seeing it with like a third.
It's a great thing about this sport, and we always thank the athletes for the opportunity, the microphones and everyone constantly talking. You're hearing strategy,
Yep.
1 or 2 rocks ahead, what's happening
Tight.
next. Such a great learning tool for us and for our audience as well at home. It's awesome.
Tight, top 12.
Clean.
Top 12.
Line's green.
Tight.
Yep. Top 12.
And it will finish top
Kayla.
12. So right now it is Alberta. Shot stone
Nice.
on the Hearts. 1 to come here. Christina Black with hammer in 3.
Kayla Skrlik's 84% on her draw percentage, which is the highest in the field for a skip. And that will pay dividends. That's how Jennifer Jones has made a living.
This one's not dangerous.
So Russ, they haven't even looked at that off their own. I mean, that's your only chance for 2 if you're going that route.
We were trying to decide if you could see enough of it. It's
This one?
you'd have to go through the guard, I think.
Big half. I don't know if that's enough.
You play the angle
I got
raise
the 3/4,
on the red on the
right, to make
left-hand
it.
side of the center line. There's a risk you could pick out your
I
own
like
and give
this
up a
one.
big steal.
I think you just want to hit it like pretty much right there.
like a
touch
quarter.
the top of it.
Quarter
And-
to a third.
Yeah.
Okay. No less than a third.
Yeah. So I'll take plenty of ice because I
This
want
is the one we talked about before, just laser eye surgery. Get it really thin. Try to get it across the top. That will go straight back and move that red one back.
And you don't think to the right of her broom that off the yellow, you have that pocket there. I mean, I keep going back to it, but
It looks like there's enough room, but, you know, they're down there. I assume they would have seen that.
I'm right behind that sheet, Russ. So, I mean, if you, as a right-handed thrower, you throw the in-turn. I mean, I'm not saying it's easy, but in a game like this, it is your chance for 2.
Yeah, exactly. If you skinny that guard with a bit of weight, I think it's there. You could make it with your in-turn.
You need laser eye surgery then. So final stone here in 3. Right now it is a stolen point for Team Alberta.
Whoa! Whoa! Shelly! You gotta go, Shell.
Shelly Barker trying to carve that across.
Okay. Way too much ice.
And just clips it a little bit, and it will be a steal of 1. So we're officially on the board. Our first point in our feature. Great to have you watching from Kamloops, BC.
We're all just very trusting in each other that we're putting in the work that we need, and we all want this for each other just as much as we want it for ourselves, and it will be really helpful for us.
We want to be in the top 3 of our pool, and I think I just want all my team to just enjoy the journey, so we're gonna try and do our best to try to reach that goal.
And that is the feature. Later on tonight, Laurie St. George Quebec 4-2 record. Clancy Grandy, the home province. British Columbia, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. As Vic, Joe, and Russ and Kathy will have you covered later tonight, right here on TSN. And it's great on this Wednesday morning, afternoon, evening. So many storylines. It's getting a lot tighter, and we'll have a lot more information. I think that playoff picture will be a lot more clear starting tomorrow morning, and that's what makes this part of the week a lot of fun, as we have a point in our feature. So one on the board, and it's a steal from Team Alberta. So once again, for the 4th time in this game, it is Team Nova Scotia with Hammer throwing those yellow rocks.
Noah said going into a Scotties that Wednesday is moving day, and that's totally right, Brian. Tomorrow everything will be a lot more clear who's still in the mix, and right now so many teams are still alive. That 2 loss, if you drop to that 3rd right now, is big trouble.
I asked Kathy this morning just about Kathy winning her 3 Scotties titles. During that run of a week like this, Joe, like, do you feel any different intensity knowing the weekend's coming and you're in it, or did you try to have that intensity, draw one right till the end?
Well, this was actually the time that I had to work on a lot over the course of the Scotties that I played in, because my first time here, I got to this day in your 5th or 6th game, and I was exhausted.
Right.
Because you're so high stress, high energy, the adrenaline. In between games, you've got autographs. You want to go to the Heartstop Lounge and have a drink and enjoy the experience. You're seeing your family, and all of a sudden, your mental gas tank starts to deplete. And I remember being so tired midweek and almost feeling like I needed a break. And now the curlers actually do get a break. I think every team almost gets a day off in the draw. As you play in more of these, you realize you need to conserve your energy. Just like you need to rest your muscles, you have to rest your brain.
Heel?
Yep.
Yep.
Trying to get rid of this stagger situation could be a problem.
The other side of it.
What?
We should have hit the other side and moved both.
I was trying to hit it, like, anyways, it's fine.
Kathy Gauthier, updates continue, and let's check in on Sheet C, Yukon and Northern Ontario.
Well, the redstone you see in the 12-foot was Krista McCarville's attempt to draw into lie 2, but she is short, and so that allows an open hit for Haley Burney for 2.
Burney trying to get right back in this game. Just by that high guard into the house, and a great shot. And you know, Kathy, we shouldn't be surprised. She has given the top teams a run all week, hasn't she?
She really has. The first couple of games was sort of sorting herself out, and then played really well against Casey Scheidegger, played extremely well against Rachel Holman. So no surprise today.
We're over.
Nice, Jerry.
Good.
Good. That was
nice shot.
Yeah.
So a Christmas tree wall of red there piling up.
Yeah, good separation too. And interesting to see what they do here. They could change gears, but that one on the button's so tough to get at.
Yeah, the high guard over curled a little bit.
Put it back, right? You need to get rid of 2 rocks right now, I think.
Double peel.
Okay.
I kind of like this though.
Okay.
Whatever you're seeing, Tina, just get as close of it as you can.
Yeah, if you pick the guard, that's not the end of the world.
Just board, like 11-5.
So
Okay.
this side of the sheet ran very straight,
Forward, guys.
going in the other direction. Don't want to roll out here, but the over curl and just nudge the centerline guard over doesn't play well either for Nova Scotia. This is tough.
Yeah, 11.
Cardi Everest
Hard.
trying to get her team out of a little bit of trouble.
Hard. Push. Push. You got it. Push. Whoa.
Shelley Barker, big scrub, then off.
Sorry, I had to be careful.
And the shooter should hang on. In the meantime, Kathy, back to you. Sheet D, wildcard 1, BC.
Big trouble for Clancy Grandy. On her first, she tried to run back. It went horribly wrong. Picked her own out of the 4-foot and left Caitlin with 2. Caitlin raised a stone for 3, trying to make a bunch of granite disappear.
And she'll just chip that one out. So Steal points of 2
Yeah.
for Caitlin Laws. And a 3-1 advantage.
Yep, hard.
Yeah.
And back to our feature, Brittany Tran making the play on that Yellowstone out in the weeds.
A defensive call there.
I'm really surprised by that, Russ. My perception of this team was that they weren't afraid
right.
of being aggressive. This might be the result of what happened earlier this week, just trying to play a little bit smarter.
Just kind of lets Nova Scotia off the hook here. And you heard them say the Team Nova Scotia gets more curls, so they've got a really good chance of getting at this thing.
Yeah, and by smarter, I mean a little bit more defensive.
Right.
But if you're looking for the force here, you kind of just gave Christina Black and her team the opportunity to create some offense.
It's a really good chance to steal, too.
Little tap by Jennifer Baxter.
Good. Shot.
And I think it's still Alberta shot stone back 4.
Wait.
We're just killing the line.
Yeah.
True board though, like 11-5.
Good throw, kicks it out in the open though.
Regular board here. There's been a few down this path.
Yeah, I think so. You got it.
Kathy, let's keep rolling. New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Labrador, She-Day.
Well, that red stone was Andrea Kelly's first draw, and Stacey tried to follow her down. She has second shot. Andrea could just drop for 2, but she's playing the double run, trying to get rid of both yellows, potential 4.
Had a 6-ender versus Yukon back on Sunday. Andrea Kelly. Rock spilling.
How good is that?
What a shot. Love the smile on the skip from New Brunswick. Tie game 4-4 after 3. Well done.
How timely is that? You end up getting a 1 there or something. You're in big trouble. Now they're right back in it.
Do you think we can play the same thing? I almost think you don't play straight draw. I think you just draw. Yeah. I think you're okay to come to it, and then top button is probably best. Yeah, they'll have the double. So honestly, if you can be like, keep it on this side of it. Top button. Top button, okay. Yeah.
So that was back 12, eh?
Yes.
That was back 12. Okay.
So for 15, yeah.
See, Christina wants to be a little bit open top button so that it would jam if the double was attempted. But the problem with that is if it's a little open, Alberta could play a hit and roll underneath the pile.
It's a big ad. 5! Line's good! Gotta be button. Little room, got room. Really close.
Heard Jennifer say big ad out of her hand.
She would have felt like she was sliding a little bit slow, so adding some weight with the extension through the arm.
Hard, Shelly, go! Whoa, there's good, there's fine. That's fine.
And they pulled that a long way, top 8.
15 and a half.
You guys agree it is red is shot stone at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
It was tricky.
Good sweeping.
Like, I didn't want to put it where it just won't curl past that high guard. What do you like?
Pretty good spot.
You're still trying to hit almost 3/4. That's probably edge, missing an edge on that one.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, at least you have to hit here to jam, though. This one, it's like you have to miss the shot and you jam.
Yeah.
So that?
Sure. I think that's all we have.
Board?
Okay.
The double and roll is tempting, but if you're ever a little bit wide in this straight spot, it jams on the red in the back 4-foot.
We still think we can get. I know that that guard's high, but it's so straight.
Well, it's probably jamming
And it's like,
anyways, so.
Yeah.
This is playing the conditions, isn't it, Russ?
Yeah, well done. Really well done.
Just board.
Not trying to make something they can't. So many teams try to make the perfect shot when it's not even there. I like this call.
Do you think this is going to go onto our back one?
No. Okay. Pretty confident it won't.
Got it. No, it shouldn't. You got it. Speed's nice.
It obviously can go in the back when she has to hit it incredibly thin.
Board.
Down.
Yep. 12.
Yep.
Clean.
Down.
Board. Whoa. Board. Yes.
Yep.
Board. Down. Yes.
Just drives it by that red stone. And Shot Rock still red. Alberta back 4.
Might have been better to let that curl and get rid of that yellow one.
And I have like something off of it. I heard Ashton say 11.
No, she said, I don't know. She was yelling down, but we were already counting it.
Yeah. Well, no, I should have been off. That was like the worst possible. How much did we speak about that?
Yeah.
Lots. True.
Just a little less weight than they wanted, and that one
What's your
did curl
tolerance?
on them.
Right to the red. Okay. Yeah, we have to get shot. Okay. Right there. Okay. You got it.
Earlier in the week, with that guard being so long, you could have made a back ring weight tap on this Alberta Shot Rock, but again, knowing the conditions and knowing what's there today.
We covered the 10th end with Caitlin's game, and they were over curling by a couple feet.
Well, it is soft, like literally first hit.
If we come to the red one, it's not the end of the world because at least I'll have something. Like she'll have to make the freeze.
Okay. So like a 25-30. Yeah, it's like out of the button speed.
Yeah? Okay.
Lots of line right now.
Hey, really good.
7 right now. Okay, line's good. Race really close. Okay, sweep for button. Line's great. 7-8. Running. 8. Running.
Whoa, not 8.
We're to it. Okay.
Whoa, not to it.
Do you need tick?
Jen!
No.
Jen!
Yeah, just go, Jen. Yeah, just go. That's fine. That's not bad.
Good.
Okay.
That seemed like a lot of excitement about nothing because you heard the late call for the sweep.
Yeah, Christina wanted Jen Baxter to make the rock curl a little bit more at the end, but Jen didn't want to sweep it because it was heavy.
Do you like it? Which one do you like more?
I would have left it top button. But I actually don't mind this once you pointed it out. Because even if you're this,
She'll
right,
go
then-
for she'll
then
this.
she'll nose,
This
and then this
it'll be
noses.
for 3.
So then I might like this then.
Okay.
Do you like this instead of that? Because I just think that we could leave her a double for 2.
Right here.
Okay. You got it.
I think the freeze is easier, the 2 shots to start with. That hit and roll in is difficult, and you only roll a couple of inches. You queue up a shot for 3.
Just freeze. There's a lot of tolerance on this, so let
So to be
Jared know
clear,
if it's a bit heavy.
Russ, freeze to the yellow.
Yeah.
Where they're coming down to the hearts.
Exact same shot that was just thrown.
A little rub if it's heavy.
Yeah. Or we can carve
Very
it.
similar kick to what you gave on your last view, and we
What?
can just sweep it there.
Yeah.
If anything, 2 feet more.
Wants to make sure she has a line. If she's wide, there could still be that double, Russ.
Oh, yeah. And keep it a little high side. Yep.
How good is that?
I think we're
84% on draws this week. Number 1 amongst Fourth Rock throwers.
Little bump.
Back 4,
A lot of speed here.
And back 8 is a little bit more weight they wanted.
You got it off.
Audible, little rub, cut in. That'll work too. Right to the hearts and shot stone. Team Alberta.
Real nice. Really nice.
Shot. Still there, though, isn't it?
Like the bounce.
So peel off your own.
I knew I couldn't be
Kick it
light.
sideways.
So, shoot, it sort of gave me
It's a great weight call from the sweepers. They were very specific with how heavy this rock was. Instead of just yelling heavy, they said back 8 so that the line caller knew how much of that yellow they had to graze to sit shot rock. Heads up play by the whole team.
Come off, Arrow.
Yeah. That's why I didn't really want to tick.
Me
Because
too.
then they would have doubled.
They would have had it.
So we can expect
Alrighty.
a Nova Scotia rocket here.
Yeah, exactly.
You got this.
These are really tough because you're trying to throw it a little harder than maybe you normally do, and you just back it up a bit, and you'll end up with the nose hit. And if you protect the other way and get it thin, you'll get rid of the red one, but you'll lose your shooter.
8.5.
Final stone in for Christina Black. Picked up right away by Shelly Barker. Do they have it? Off the yellow, clip it. What a shot! Beautiful. Christina Black, big time weight, big time shot as she scores a pair. She's been a highlight reel. all week long, and another one for the skip out of the Dartmouth Curling Club. Right on cue. Bang. Sideways. Away it goes. She's come to play. Has had a wonderful week thus far as Nova Scotia 2-1 advantage after 4. Welcome back to our Scotties coverage here at Kamloops, BC. The first time the city has hosted the Canadian Women's Curling Championship, 42nd edition of the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. As the first one back in 1982 in Regina. A great sponsorship from Kruger Products, and here in Kamloops in 2023. That was a lovely shot by Christina Black. Through the right weight, right on target, away it goes for 2. So it is Team Alberta with Hammer here throwing the red stones. Lead stones on the way. This one from Ashton Skrlik.
All you guys. Line's good. Right here.
Alberta kind of chopped off there, which was lucky, but where it stopped was a little unlucky. If they'd ever chopped a little thicker, got that corner one deeper, then Christina couldn't have come off it. What a great shot.
Just tee. Right here.
Not everybody can be that accurate with speed, and she threw that pretty hard.
Well, and in that spot too, Russ, we were seeing a lot of under curls, but then a couple over curls. So for her to put the broom down and throw it clean, it was very nicely done. Talk about the importance of lead rock placement. Nova Scotia put up the centerline guard. Alberta went around, top 4. Nova Scotia comes up light on their attempted freeze, and now Alberta has the opportunity to set up a 2 very early in this end because that freeze attempt was so high in the house. Just a couple feet light from Nova Scotia, and all of a sudden a simple 2 is set up early.
Probably the best way out of this for Nova Scotia is keep hitting it dead on and get it up high enough so there's an angle to roll to the button at some point.
Caitlin Laws, wild card 1, and Clancy Grandy, BC, Kathy.
Clancy tried to corner freeze on her first, and it just rolled off. Caitlin was able to remove it, but she had hoped to roll in, but did not. So a nose hit gives the opportunity for 2.
Final stone on the way in 4. Both these teams 3-2 records. Grandy, 1, clip it, nice shot. 2 on the board, BC, and they're tied up at 3.
Local crowd's very happy.
Smash more. 10. Solid 10. Easy, clean. Keep it clean. Keep it clean. Jen, a little. Okay, just nosing so straight there. Good. Okay. 9-9. Good throw. Super straight. Control. You got it there.
Look at the ice, like 1 inch is what they're really giving here. And they're not overthrowing it, which is fantastic.
Control down.
I'd almost be tempted to try the other turn. See what inside out does.
We haven't seen any of those, have we?
Look at the numbers. Sherilyn Ramsey, she came in number 2 among seconds in the field and having another great game.
Look at that weight, Brian. Just hardly anything in it, and that gives your brushers a chance to help you.
Yeah. That is black. I think you have to throw 9.5. Okay. I love this broom for 9.5. Yeah.
Well, the last time we checked in on this sheet, Andrea Kelly made a beauty in a 4-4 tie. What's happening here, Kathy?
Well, the momentum has definitely switched. It has been all New Brunswick this end. Andrea hitting an open stone that Stacy had hit previously, and so facing the 3, she's now elected to draw.
Stacey Curtis, Newfoundland and Labrador, out of St. John's.
Looking for 4-foot.
Great numbers, too, for Stacey. 94% thus far. There you see the house in view. Got to get that 4-foot. Need a little bit of that paint, and they do. Free brushing. Top 4 and a single. Pressure draw. And a 5-4 advantage.
10. Whoa. 9, 7. Ashton. Hard.
No, it's okay, Ashton.
And that is a tough one, losing the shooter.
Just wide.
I like this way, I think. Okay.
You know, if they'd nosed that, there would have been a double, so it might not be that bad an error. And you hate to roll out, but you give them a double, they could be sitting 2 buried. And Nova Scotia's still not out of the woods here.
I think we're all there right now.
Have to go out wider for this draw. I would assume it's a little bit slower.
Yes!
Fine.
7. 8. 8.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
7.
It's only 7.
Yes, Carly.
Yes, go.
Hard. That's good.
That's good.
I had to be like.
I was hard, I know.
Carly.
Good throw.
Yeah, almost lost it at the end. Just kissed the back of that red in the top 4 foot.
Back line.
They didn't want to sweep it because it was a little bit heavy.
The silver medalist last year, Northern Ontario, Krista McCarville taking on Yukon Bernie.
Well, this in-turn spot has been lightning fast and very straight. Krista went deep on her first. Haley tried to follow into the 4 foot. She was deep. And so this is a second crack at it. Already lying 1, looking for 4 foot. Same path as the first one. Needs to be about 4 feet lighter.
Hard, you gotta go. Hard, go.
Meantime, in our feature, Brittany Tran trying to make a play on that yellow stone.
Keep going. You got it.
All hands on deck now as Sarah Potts out there to help scrub as well. That is a great brush. Is it enough?
Great sweeping.
Just, and that was great sweeping, Krista. There's 2 top 4.
Great sweeping. That's why I had to yell in your ear. Sorry.
2 it is. I'm sure she'll take the yelling all week long if they continue to make shots like that. Great sweeping like that.
Right under. Stay nice and close.
Good little dig there, wasn't it, to get that out of there? You couldn't see much of that yellow one.
Tuck in the center line there. 10.
Just a 10?
Okay. All right, let's make this.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Skip Stones.
Close. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Close. Shelly. Hi, Shelly. Hard. Anything, Jen. Anything.
Go, Jen.
And that anything's just a little roll.
Nice way. It's gonna go.
Time for a key shot from last end, Russ.
Well, we talked about being a little lucky for Alberta that they skimmed off that side and rolled, but it really wasn't. That set up a potential double if you could throw an 8-second takeout. Absolutely no mistake.
The key shot brought to you by BKT Tires, growing together. And that is the first 2 on the board in our feature for a 2-1 advantage.
Another highlight shot from Christina.
You hate that? You hate it?
I don't want to even bury too much, because then if she runs into it, at least then we'll have a shot at it. Is what I'm thinking. But and then if she plays
Or we
just
play
to tap
this.
it out and roll, we'll have
Or
a
we
double.
play this.
I just think we keep
Well,
it
then you're
simple.
like, I liked the hit.
Hit where?
Yeah.
Okay. Control.
Okay.
The hit's tricky because you hit it dead on. It gives Nova Scotia a chance to roll buried. If you hit and roll buried, you're behind the tee line. It gives them a chance to freeze, take the whole end away. You could maybe over-roll, back 8 maybe.
Yeah, or I think they're calling to hit and roll away a little bit, but
Okay.
then you're flirting with rolling out.
Yes.
A little flop.
The problem with drawing is that the draw has to be in one spot,
Right.
one spot only, so there's more leeway with this shot.
I like rolling wide side. Just don't have a lot of real estate. Talk about how straight it is here. They got to be patient on the brushing.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Can you roll in?
Come on, Ashton.
Roll in.
Yes. Yes.
You're gonna roll out hard. Whoa. How much weight
keep on, keep on, keep on.
Golden.
Good job.
Nice shot.
Yeah, good kills.
Those look simple, but that's exactly where she wanted to roll.
Exactly. Yep. Okay, you got it. Nice, same throw.
Team Nova Scotia still has a hit and roll available. They're just very tricky. You have to get the perfect weight, perfect line. If she pokes out on either side, Alberta can still chase it.
Same weight. Yep. Okay. Keep through everything. Took a little less ice. Okay. Okay.
Right at her.
Christina Black calls Halifax home, trying to make the fans back home proud with a nice one here.
Good weight. That's just so straight.
And a nose hit and an opportunity for Team Alberta to answer back and score 2.
No, it was a really good throw. I thought it was less weight. Yeah, I think so.
Not sure if that broom is draw or hit.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I think it's the draw, but it's a hair too much ice for the hit, I think.
Yeah. Full 8.
Yeah.
Is it still pretty glidey?
Yeah, it's still
I
really
think
nice.
so,
You can
yeah.
give us very similar to what you gave us on this one, if anything, 2 feet less.
Okay.
We can also carry it 6 feet if needed.
Geez, I love that statement, Joanne. Eh? It's really quick, so the front end's assuring skipper that we can drag this a long way.
Final stone in 5.
Top 4.
Kayla Skrlik
Line's good.
trying to get her first 2 of this game here in 5.
Looks close.
Line's good.
Curling now.
Line's good.
Easy.
All you.
5-1.
Weight looks perfect. Just needs full 8 and does
Good. Atta girl. Good job, you guys.
better than that. Touching the 4. Settle in for a great game. 3-2 Alberta here at the Scotties.
I broke score.
The 2023 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is presented by Scotties Facial Tissue. Unleash the Scotties. By New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Canada. By Home Hardware, Here's How. And by PointsBet Canada, the official sportsbook of Curling Canada.
They've had a great Scotties thus far. Lost their first 2, but every shot, every game, Kayla Skrlik and company really proving they belong. Trying to continue to push and make that championship round. Time for the numbers after 5.
Yeah, we saw a phenomenal thin double by Christina Black in the 4th end to score 2, but it's been all Alberta this first half of the game. What I'm noticing, though, is that Team Alberta isn't forcing the issue. They're playing more defensive than usual, and they shouldn't be. They're playing great. We'll see if they bring it in the next half.
After 5, brought to you by PointsBet Canada, the official sports gaming partner of Curling Canada. Coach Stuart McLean, alternate Carol McLean. Good game thus far. As we look at Christina Black, we'll step aside.
Saturday is Curling Day in Canada, and we're taking our rocks to the Rockies. Banff, Alberta is hosting a curling festival that has never been seen before. Plus, inspiring stories from across the country.
Knowing that I'm here, that I can make a difference, gave me sort of a boosting and motivation.
Hopefully one day I'll be able to curl with my friends and family who have no clue about the sport.
And Carrie Anerson joins us to discuss the pride she takes in being an Indigenous role model.
It's truly amazing to see that and to feel that love and that support.
Join the celebration on Curling Day in Canada.
Really excited for that, and that will be in between our playoff games. A great Saturday of curling lined up for you here at the Scotties. Kathy, I want to start with you. You know, it's such a wonderful day celebrating the sport. How did you get hooked on curling? How did it all start for you?
My dad was a curler, and I used to go and watch him. And then I took it up because of that, and then he used to play in a corporate league for Shell, and he would make them use me as a spare. And they were like, oh, I got Joe's kid. But you know what? They embraced it, and I played a lot, and then fell into a junior program where Connie Laliberte played, and next thing you know, I got picked up by her, and the rest is history.
Russ, how about yourself?
Same thing, family. My dad, and he was a student of a lot of sports, and it was like, if you're going to try it, you're going to do it right. So you get all the books out, and the Ken Watson, and the the Ben Hogan, and the stuff, and tried to teach Glenn and I the right way. And it was the thing to do in our area.
Joe?
And 3 for 3. It's a family that gets you into the sport, and you get into it when you're young. You meet a few people that are into it as well. Start bonspieling and eating chips after curling games, and then all of a sudden you have a little bit of success, and here you are. But the Curling Day in Canada and the focus now on increasing the diversity in our sport and ensuring that the curling club is a welcoming place for everyone to try it, I think it's just outstanding progress for our sport.
Awesome. Look forward to that on Saturday as we bring you back to our feature. 3-2 Alberta leads here in 6 in what's been a close game. And it is Nova Scotia with Hammer throwing the Yellow Rocks.
Hard. 10-8. Hard all the way.
This one is moving early.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're really close. You're really close. Clean. Little roll. Not too much. This is too low. Good. Yeah.
Nice weight choice there.
Okay. I had 11-7. I don't know if that's right. It was really quiet.
Yeah, 11-8.
Okay.
Just a little flop. Do you like control?
Not impacted. It didn't look like it was that light.
Smart call. They were trying to not roll in the rings, and if that hadn't rolled quite so far, it would have been another guard, and great positioning.
Do you think we're down?
Whoa!
Whoa!
I'm just cleaning.
Whoa! Just cleaning.
Whoa! Brittany, we're 11. Kate?
I don't think so. I think we're good.
Hard, Britt. Hard. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Ashton.
Roll it big.
Oh, that's perfect.
Audible behind the corner.
Good, Jer.
Nicely done.
11-9 or 10-9. Sorry.
You know, for Jerry Lynn Ramsey, I know, just her second Scotties, but my goodness, making a final that 1 year and that experience she could bring to this team. We know Brittany Tran has been here a few times before. Kayla and Ashton, the rookies, but that has to be large to have that kind of experience that you can draw on from someone who's been there, and not just been there, but played in a final as well.
Yeah, no kidding. What a learning curve that has to be that she's passing on to everybody else. And just the fact that the rest of the team's going, hey, it can be done.
We gotta go. We gotta get across center.
Hard. That curl mile.
Gotta go.
Push.
Okay. It's a little heavy.
Much different speed choice on that one.
I throw it okay?
Yeah, it was just a little heavy.
Okay.
Boy, we've seen a lot of that
Do you like that?
I do.
over the week.
Normal.
Yeah, the speed of the ice, it's a nice keen surface, so
You got it.
your control weight will actually be normal. So you have to feel like you're throwing maybe even the weight class lighter for the math add up and the weight to be appropriate.
9. Yep.
Could have gone open side here.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Maybe they're going to try to roll it in.
Ashton. Sorry.
Given that it seems that Team Alberta and Kayla Skrlik, they like to try to get that hammer back in the even ends. They love looking at this one rock in play and likely a blank.
Give us like a 50 for a guard. A 50. Okay, I can do that. Nice and slow. Little lakeshore slide.
Just noticed a few opportunities in this game. She had a chance to really put some pressure on with a draw, and she opted to hit second shot or eliminate opposition rocks from play, and then allowing Nova Scotia a chance to create something.
Exactly.
Sometimes it feels smarter to remove a rock from play, but you open the door for the other team to get something going.
Yeah, they had them wired in the fourth there and just could have thrown
Probably
a guard.
have to finish it.
You don't see this very often, guys. We're obviously, so we're the TV game, which is great, but usually the TV game is, a little bit delayed from the other matchups, and our TV game is the first one to start play in the fifth end. Obviously some blanks, but it's moving along.
Hate my 3 rock.
Well, it's moving along, Brian, but the other thing is that there are 3 other sheets with almost all rocks in play every end, and there have been 3 timeouts used on one sheet in the last end alone, so that has slowed things down for sure.
Yep. Clean. Just clean. Nice. Good. Great.
I just gotta put my gripper on. Good. Okay. One and a half, 2. Yeah, we're on the whole way.
Your Team Nova Scotia, you have to be happy after that start, though. They're maybe not quite as sharp as they would like to be, but after what happened yesterday in their game against Nunavut, they're a lot more together. They seem to be working as a cohesive unit.
We're on it.
And you get the feeling that they will start to build off of this now and come on strong in the second half.
And we mentioned the other sheets of ice about to get underway. 5-5 tie, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Labrador, Northern Ontario, a 4-point cushion. And a good one over on sheet D. Wildcard 1, Caitlin Laws up by 1, but Clancy Grandy with hammer.
Whoa. Jerry hard. That's okay. Nice.
And look out. All right, by the red.
Sorry, didn't even.
Oh,
thank you.
Okay. 10 and a half. Right out there.
Can't wait any longer to hit this one. If you throw another corner, you might see Alberta split the rings, and you might not get your blank.
10-5. 10 and a half. 10-8. Easy clean. Easy clean. Clean. Your nose. Clean. Yep. Good. Nice throw. 10-8. Good.
Control.
Yeah. Roll in. Yeah.
So we talk a lot about, first time at the Scotties. What's it been like for you, Joe, the transition from playing at a high level and in the broadcast booth? And when you come to an event like this, and I know you're content to step aside, but do you get a bit of those vibes when you walk in the building and now you put on the headset? What's it been like?
Yeah, the excitement is the part that gets me. I mean, you've lived these moments, but to get to experience it on both sides has been so special. And really getting to watch all of these teams. When you're in these games, playing on your team, you're so focused on your own roles, on your own game, on what you're doing out there. And what this perspective gives me is an appreciation for the field, an appreciation for the talent in our country, and just how outstanding these athletes are.
What a game.
Plus, you'll really improve the TSN media team. Not a lot of good sweepers.
No.
Not a lot of talented sweepers.
Excuse me?
Oh my God.
But Kat, we need your skipping knowledge. We need your knowledge. And I might have said that on purpose. Hey, Kathy, I had my stopwatch out. It didn't take you more than half a second, so that was great. I was timing it with my abacus up here with Russ.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. 9-9. Okay.
So the hit game continues here in 6.
Good throw.
It's funny watching from this perspective. You see the storylines in these teams. To start the week, a team like Alberta or a team like Laurier St. George with Quebec starting the week off slow and seeing that, they're struggling, this might be a write-off for them. But then all of a sudden seeing teams flip the script and start to come off strong. And the storylines are ever changing. And it's so cool to watch who triumphs and who falters in these big championships.
Well, I mean, Christina Black has been a highlight reel. Joanne Rizzo. I mean, names that you weren't maybe talking about or the media talking about before. That's why I love it, because anyone could come up, raise their game, and be a star at this event, which is really cool.
That's the story. Anybody. It really is. St. George played in 4 bonspiels only, which isn't really enough to compete at this level. Didn't qualify in one of them. And here they are 4-2.
Well, and as a competitor, you're looking at that and thinking, oh, no. You see Joanne Rizzo on fire. Oh, no. But from here, you can celebrate it. It's outstanding.
And I think we get paid win or lose up here, Joe, too, which is great. I think. I'll have to confirm with the bosses.
The rock problem.
Rock.
This is so challenging as the thrower.
Our time's still running. Oh, no, it's done now.
Interrupts your pre-shot routine.
But isn't this important? You know,
Oh,
find an
I see.
official,
It's
say
working
we've been
now.
waving
Okay,
at you
it's
for
working
20
now.
seconds. Reset the clock. And the last thing she wants to do is rush this. This is, I know it's a blank, but it's a big shot and a big moment in this game. Final stone in 6.
Easy. Shelly, clean it. Shelly, just clean it. Come up.
And
Push.
is it enough?
Go.
It is just enough.
You were cleaning it. It was back.
So a blank on the board. 3-2, Alberta leads. Here it comes. And welcome back to beautiful Kamloops. Gorgeous day, wildlife, wineries, golf. It really is a beautiful part of Canada to get out and enjoy this part of Western Canada, British Columbia. Let's bring in Kathy Gauthier with her synopsis on the action thus far.
Well, looking across, we saw that wonderful shot by Andrea in the third end, and that right of the ship that put everything back on even. But it is the back end from Newfoundland and Labrador, both at 93%. That's why there is so much pressure on Andrea Kelly in this game. In our feature game, neither of these teams are playing like a rookie, specifically not Alberta, who is. And the confidence that Christina Black has had as a skip has been remarkable. In the Northern Ontario game, Kendra Lilly is the difference, 90% to 65 of her counterpart. That's why, even though Bernie is shrinking the scoring zone, it's not making much of a difference. And in that Laws Grandy game, it is the last rock battle by Caitlin Laws that she is making more than her opponent, who keeps trying big runbacks, and they're just not working.
And she is the GOAT of broadcasting, Kathy Gauthier. Thank you for this. In a 3-2 advantage, low scoring game. Thus far, critical game for both these teams, trying to make the top 3, qualify for the playoffs, and the championship Sunday. Of course, the final winner will represent Canada at the Worlds in Sweden. As we look now at second stones, this one from Jerry Lynn Ramsey, the Summerside PEI native, now calling Calgary home.
Brittany, it's a lot of weight.
It's going to take its time with this amount of weight
Coming
here.
off, little bump.
You're moving it a lot. Hard. You're going to have to move it the whole way.
Little
the whole way.
Good, Jerry.
Nicely done.
4-1.
Sweet.
You could argue it's a little more important game for Alberta. They've still got Canada and BC to play. Nova Scotia only has one game, and it's the tough Quebec team.
Yeah, I think that's right on the money.
Yeah.
It's like drawing from a couple days ago.
Oh, back line. Okay.
Now it's a 4-10.
If I'm Alberta, probably the best time to play Canada because their day off is actually today. So the rocks have been done. We're still looking and seeing what the ice is going to shake out like, but continue to build momentum. Team Canada was trending upwards significantly. They look really comfortable out there. Give them a day off to cool off.
Back line. Easy. Well, easy, clean. Whoa. Just back line. Right off. Oh my God. Hard.
Might have to go across the top, or it's going to jam.
No, it's hard. Okay, that's good. Shoot.
You know, you talk about that Team
It's an
Canada
early sweep.
run they've been on, trying to chase down 4. I had a chat on the phone with
Did you have
the
air,
great Colleen
hey?
Jones yesterday, and it was great to catch up with her just to get perspective from her on 2 big storylines, right? Jennifer Jones chasing 7. No one's done it. Colleen has 6. And the Anderson team winning 4 in a row, and that hasn't been done since the great Colleen Jones. And to her talking about Jennifer Jones, she calls her the GOAT, the greatest to do it, just the longevity, the competitiveness, how she admires the fire that Jennifer has had for so long, and kind of in your DNA, like some are just built to do it and have that, and she respects Jennifer for that. And in mentioning Carey Anderson and his team, her team rather, and just how they stuck together. When she did it, won 4 in a row back then, Colleen said they never thought they'd do it again. And their coach actually at times said, you know, this may last forever because teams break up, they split up, and they don't continue that run.
Nice shot.
And Colleen has a lot of respect for Carey Anderson, likes that little grit, as she called it, in her face and how she plays and how she fights. And now the belief that she sees that Carey has, having done it not only a few times, she actually says the pressure's probably off Carey Anderson. What more can I accomplish? I have my legacy. It's set. I mean, no one's taking 3 straight away. And in the moment, Colleen said, we never thought about winning the 4th in a row. So it kind of almost takes the pressure off because the legacy's already been set for this Anderson team. I thought it was great perspective from Colleen Jones.
Well said, and nobody would know better than Colleen, and a bit modest too, I would suggest in your comments. But you're right, pressure's playing in your club playdowns and losing 3 straight. You know, they've proved themselves. They've proved themselves already this week, and if they don't win the final or the semifinal, still pretty good run.
It's their incredible legacy already.
Okay, that works.
I think it's us. I think it's us.
Okay.
Kathy Gauthier back to Caitlin Laws and Clancy Grandy.
On Clancy's first stone, she was playing a hit, got a little bit on the outside and jammed it back, and that left Caitlin Laws lying 1. She hit to lie 2, maybe 3. It's really hard to tell who is third shot. And so ignoring all of the stones as playing the draw needs forefoot.
Okay, you don't have backing. No backing. 15. 15.
Here 15. Nice keen conditions and a nice draw right to the pin. Beautiful.
Good judge. Good judge, guys.
Kathy, while I have you, I asked Colleen also, and I mean, you played against her and in that era as well, about winning 4 in a row in that time, and of course in that span, and now. And the game has changed. There's wild card teams now this time around. And Colleen says herself, you know, you just got to respect the generations and the different times. I mean, to her credit, Colleen said, man, if I had, you know, Joanne Courtney sweeping and these ice conditions, I'd be licking my chops. And that's what she said. I'm just curious, your thoughts on the different times from then into now. I mean, they're both amazing accomplishments. I just like your opinion on the differences.
Well, I completely agree with Colleen. It's like comparing Connor McDavid to Wayne Gretzky, just a very different era. And the ice conditions were not as good. It didn't curl as much. They were much straighter. The brushes didn't do as much. We didn't know as much. And so you have people that were, you know, essentially fighting off what each other was doing instead of doing it all for the right cause. We've learned so much more. This game is more scientific. The ice conditions are better. The rocks are better. And with all of those things that are better, it feels like almost a little bit of a different sport than we played. But it was about excelling at the time with what you had and getting the best out of your players.
So a little pocket now in here, guys, as
Line's good.
Brittany Tran delivers.
Alberta let Nova Scotia off the hook by coming deep on that come around. And really nice freeze in there. You cannot remove it with this one.
No, their line's not even close.
What's not close?
Hard jar. It's still.
And just caught a little bit there in that spot. Shot stone still, Nova Scotia. And you talk about greatness. How about Marianne Arsenault, a part of that amazing Colleen Jones run? The championships 5 times for Marianne, 99, and then that run from 2001 to 2004. And of course, playing with Christina Black the last few years. They combined together, winning that medal in 2018 here in BC in Penticton. So another one of the all-time greats there, Marianne Arsenault.
We're backing.
Now out here, I believe, living in BC full-time.
Moved out to BC and won the seniors and the women's in the same year, the first year.
Okay.
This is wild. Both teams have been caught in this spot 4 or 5 times in a row now. Great opportunities just being given back and forth to each other.
It'd be easy to say there's no curler, but they're throwing back 8. They're just that little bit
Otherwise
deep.
She's just gonna play this.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
Stand. I was like, what?
Board.
Yeah.
Your hack barely moved.
Yeah, no kidding. I know.
We can over curl it.
Yeah.
We've seen this in a few of the games where it actually gets shockingly fast in an end late. And it seems like when you throw the same path a bunch of times, it gets faster and faster and faster. So
Maybe a little bit
the
more,
thrower
Jared.
really wants their rock to be there. That freeze had to be there. Light wasn't great for Nova Scotia, but there's just a bit of an over-adjustment happening.
Right on the yellow.
Yeah. I like it.
Don't throw enough weight that if you hit this thick that you roll across the top. You want to just be able to kind of rolls kind of snuggle into shot rock here, and you almost can't miss it. You're either going to roll a foot, or you're going to roll 2 feet, or you're going to make the double if you throw it soft enough.
Close. Brett. Woo. Ashton. Woo, Ashton. Hard. Woo. Roll it.
There's the hit. There's the roll. Flip in front. And not quite. Shot stone still belongs to Nova Scotia.
Good try.
Do you like the inside or do you like the outside?
It's probably a lot easier.
I just don't really know what the weight is.
Even if I come here.
Yeah.
I think it's like 14 and a half.
Yeah, I think it's just like a half second slower probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's probably close.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah, it looked like max at first.
Okay.
But I think it's close, Tina.
Forces Nova Scotia to the other side.
Well, yes.
They have to come around a rock just off the center line, so a bit of a different line, and it hasn't been warmed up the same way as the other side of the sheet has.
Yeah. Okay.
So we need top button.
Okay.
So you might need a 20 on
I
this
think
side.
it's a little, I think it's only like 14 and a half on this side.
Yeah.
So give us a 20 with an
So 14 and a half on this side, a little bit slower.
Yeah, the other side I had a 14.3 on one of those rocks that kind of jiggled in the back. 14.3 is back 12 on the left-hand side of the sheet, but similar weight on the right-hand side is pretty close.
Line's okay. Weight's all there right now.
I don't know, guys.
Where? Weight's close. Stay close for line. Hey. Yeah, man. 7 right now. 7, 8. Line's 8. 8. Close. 8. Okay. Well then. We're deep.
We're big.
Okay.
We're
Deep.
like back 8.
Oh, okay. It's really just like it's got curl.
Can we get to the back one?
It's already past it. We're on the yellow, I mean.
So
Okay,
a
that's
little
fine.
clip and back to that red wall, but yeah,
At
there
13,
is
13.6 on that.
a nice little spot there for Alberta to try get out of this jam.
And no kidding. Just down in here somewhere.
You got it. It's nice.
You can tap your own because you've just played it, but this is much easier and more effective because if you make this, that red one on the right's going to be in
Right
Christina's way too.
Yeah.
It slid pretty good.
Kathy, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Labrador.
Well, a soft weight hit by Andrea Kelly leaves her lying 2, and so this is the Force electing to play the draw, looking for full 8-foot.
Okay, same line.
So in a 5-5 tie, a lot of scoring early as Curtis took 3 in the first and then stole 1. And then you saw the update earlier, Andrea Kelly, that big 4 and 3.
Never heavy. Never heavy. Yep.
And the weight looks real nice and is for Stacy Curtis. Great draw weight again. And a 6-5 advantage. And meantime in her feature, just not there.
Hung and hung for days.
Just not there.
Speed wasn't too far off either.
14.
Yeah. Because I think it was going to curl.
Sounds
Now
good.
is this
You
a
got
draw
this.
for 2 or for 3?
Carving the whole way almost.
I think 2, but could you not play the intern and get to the inside of that red and tick it over an inch or 2 and get your 3?
We're not second, eh?
Looks like
I think
1,
Carly said
buddy.
we'll just measure. We don't
Hey,
know.
they said they'd
Get right in
measure.
Yep. So 20?
Yeah.
Just so important to score 2 here. Chase the 3, you could get stuck with 1.
Hmm?
It hung way
So-
longer. Like,
Do we have another rock issue here?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Nova Scotia's.
Oh,
Yeah, again, it's the stone.
We have no official.
They're way down at the other end.
I mean, rock just doesn't work.
Her rock isn't working.
They need to make the rule that if you've got a problem with the rock, just let them throw it. Just stay in your, you don't go to Tiger Woods and say, just a second, we'll go get an official, right? You've got to stay in that routine. And she hasn't been over the hog line in the entire event, so just let them go.
And it's that same rock again and again, and I feel really bad for her because you go to sit in the hack and it doesn't work, and then you have to stop, and it just breaks your concentration. So many times as a player, you go down to the other end thinking weight, thinking line, and then it's all broken. And it's this sheet more than any other sheet by far.
Isn't it?
We're still heavy.
But Kathy, to that point, I mean, you're the athlete. You got to find a way, reset, restart.
Hard, Jen. Actually, well, we're going to play this tick. Shelly.
It's heavy. They're going to try to play the tick off that corner red.
So we know one for sure. They thought maybe two. Here's that audible, Russ, little tick, and here it comes inside. And what a call, and what a shot.
Two for sure.
Two for sure. It did nudge that yellow. Yeah, two for sure. The question is the back yellow.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah, that guy's good.
And then I actually think it's red, so I think just two.
Sorry, guys. Okay, well, if you want to make it that way, I guess.
They're talking about the audible.
To be sure, yeah.
Christina Black wears all of her emotions on her sleeve. Always know what she's thinking. What an audible by the line caller.
Do you apologize, Joe, after a shot like that, or do you just smile and...
I don't think you have to. They called the weight right, the line caller. First they were calling to curl, then they managed to hold it straight.
Well, there you go. Sorry. Oh, man.
No pictures on the scorecard.
Yeah, that's true.
Helps to have that mentality, though. She's out there. She's not thinking about the fact that she's on TV or what other people might think.
Right.
She's just unapologetically herself, and it's so fun to watch that energy.
Whatever.
But Kathy, it'd be interesting to talk to her after about, that stone and a few times in the game. If she parked it or if actually did that make a difference in that release that she just threw. So the measurement.
Four and a half.
And it's nicer too, Joe. We've seen this a lot. Try to get it to a number specifically so that when you come across, but that's not even close. 100%. Yeah, it is red. So
Two yellow.
it is two, but an important two for Christina Black of Nova Scotia. They need again. 4-3.
Yeah.
Eighth end, feature game, Alberta, Nova Scotia. And after that, blank in 6. A 2 on the board in 7 for Christina Black. Called the audible. And that little tick, but it paid off and worked out for 2. So here in 8, a 4-3 advantage. Alberta with hammered down by 1, throwing the Red Rocks.
Brilliant communication as a team to save the skipper's last rock there. They talked about how heavy it was. They caught the line right. And to chip and roll in like that's not easy. They had to know what they're doing all the way down.
Was my last control good weight, or was I up? You were 10. 10? Yeah.
10-5, you got it.
I was a little surprised here. The opening rock was they were trying to go top 4, top button, and they brushed it from one end to the other just to nibble the rings, and that allows Alberta to hit it.
Clean. Close.
Could have left it short.
Close. Close. Yep. Yeah, really hard. Really hard.
Oh, wow, look at that make its break.
Did it ever.
11-3.
And the yellow's not
That's a pick. I don't
necessarily guaranteed to go out, and it hangs on.
She threw it well.
Heard Jerry Lynn Ramsey say that's a pick. If that rock must have jumped unexpectedly.
Yeah, they weren't worried about it at the far hog line.
Fabulous numbers for Ashton Skrlik at 93%.
I'm surprised. I said coming down. Felt big. Weight's close. Line's good. 4. Line's big for toppy. It's big. Yeah. Got a curl. We're just tight. Top 12. Way out there.
Ton of room.
Go. Hard. Hard. Nice throw. Thought that would have been. Just see last side.
Felt like they dragged that a mile to bring it top 4.
Yeah, last end, everyone was heavy, so both teams in between ends probably said, let's make sure we're pulling back the weight and using our sweepers.
Battery flop away.
Those misses behind the tee line, they just don't help you. If they're above the tee line, you can use them later in the end. Something that slips behind is almost as if you've missed the shot completely. It's like the rock's not even there. Can't help you at all.
That was your key, control the front.
Did you have, Joe, like technology? So let's say you just went pound to post, you had to sweep one, then you got to throw. Did you have a heart rate thing and to check and how much did you use it to make sure you were actually heart rate down a bit? Now I got to deliver a stone.
Yeah, that's something I always struggled with, and you're not going to get your heart rate down to a comfortable level like when you're sitting and watching a curling game. So trying your best to take those deep breaths and also train it in the off season with interval training. But more than anything for me, I learned how to throw with a high heart rate. So I'd be at practice doing burpees on the backboards, getting it up there, and then seeing, okay, let's draw the T line and see how it feels. Because when your heart rate's high, you don't realize how hard you're pushing out of the hack. It'll be the next curling workout. 15 burpees, throw a rock. 15 burpees, throw another rock.
I'll leave that for you and Russ.
Yes. Mostly you.
And this time, Kathy stays quiet.
I want no part of that. It just vision Russ and I doing burpees on the back. Well, that's one, Russ.
Well, you did want to do a TikTok with these guys, Joe. I think you got yours. There you go.
Lots of room around this center. There should be some action in the eighth end here.
I think the call was to take a run at this double, Russ.
Really? Was that soft to wait?
Or roll away and use the catcher?
There's the hit, little roll. Just want to nudge it a little bit and right underneath.
Really nice here.
11. Sorry.
Okay. Same as you've been giving us.
Fight the 4, deepest.
I don't know why you'd try that. You know, just
30. Yep.
eighth end. You've got the hammer. You're down a point. Rolling out is not an option.
I'm really surprised. There's a slight shift in that strategy for Team Skrlik. I thought maybe they were being more conservative when they didn't have hammer. But this end, you have to convert.
Yes.
Getting forced here gives Nova Scotia an edge.
Keep going. Line's great. Hard. Hard all the way in. Keep going. You got it. Keep going. Whoa. Great sweeping, guys. 16-1. Good. Great sweep.
Good job.
Do you like coming around?
The avocado's kicking me. Good.
What did you get more satisfaction of, throwing a good stone or sweeping a great one like that to help a teammate?
Yeah, I always love the sweeping part. I feel like you added percentage points to your teammates is the best thing ever, and it's that physicality of the sport that we've seen change a lot in the last 10 years or so. This is end-to-end 16.1 seconds from hog to hog. Like, that should have been a halfway tight guard.
If you can throw this soft enough, you can hit and roll behind the red here.
Sorry, Britt. Okay. 11-5.
I'll give you the same slide, but a better extension. Sure. That's the right line, though. Yeah, absolutely. You got this, Jen.
Now we're seeing Nova Scotia with the opportunity to lock in their draw weight after a few misses last end. They're finding that top of the rings.
Just wondering at what point Alberta's going to put some pressure on Nova Scotia here.
No, work through with him.
This might be it here. It's coming pretty hard.
No, you're staying on that, I think. Yeah.
End-to-end sweep on the last. Expect this spot to run better.
14.
Do you want to go way back?
Go ahead, Shell.
Yeah. Okay, you're good.
That's fine.
Whoa.
Good judging.
Chance now.
So close one on sheet A. Sheet C, it looks like McCarville, another win on the way. Up 9-2. And a tight one. BC wildcard one. Caitlin Laws 5-4. And Clancy Grandy with hammer.
Well, in that all-important game on A for Andrea Crawford, a mistake in the last end was trying to blank and stuck it, and so loses that all-important hammer as they play 8.
Stop it. You can go. Line's great.
Yep.
You can go. Always Ashton.
It's really good.
We're all there for wins.
Plenty of weight.
Top 14. Really gliding. Sorry.
That's okay.
Whoa. It's backboard.
Bye.
Yelled top 8 a couple times.
That's not bad, Britt.
Sorry, Britt.
4-9.
And the sweeper's defense 4-9, they're saying 14.9, almost 15 seconds. You'd assume you'd have to sweep that a little bit, Russ. And they didn't want to leave that light and leave Nova Scotia the chance to come around and sit 2.
But like, it's
15 to T.
Behind the T line again, that's just trouble for Team Alberta.
I was like,
like, okay, weird. I don't know. It's like really inconsistent to whether how far it bounces. The guard's high, so we should be able to get around whichever way. Brittany's 12 or 11-5 didn't moved a little bit too, so the 12-5 should move.
As long as we're just careful at the start, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or?
Skip Stones here in 8. Christina Black.
Line's perfect. It's close. 7. Okay. Stay close. Stay close. Line's great.
Wait, it's really good.
To the button, guys. Line's perfect. Top
They're all there right now. Back 4. Back 8.
Whoa.
Coming down.
We're beside it still. We're still back to our yellow.
Back 4.
Okay. You're not even on the red,
Back 4.
so sit down. There's nothing you can do.
Okay.
Oh my God. 14.
Okay.
Wow.
And the door opening here for Alberta.
When they take these split times hog to hog, they're not reacting to the second hog line to stop. And a lot of things can change in that last 10 seconds. And coming into the rings, we saw early, Joanne, Friday, Saturday, maybe this late in the game, they'd grind. They're not doing that anymore. I think the old stopwatch is fooling them.
Well, and because they did the rocks, they didn't have to take off as much pebble to create that curl. So the ice, in theory, should hold up longer, and we should see that speed maintained for the whole game, which is outstanding. It's just catching the teams a little bit.
Right.
Okay.
Is this the same as Brett's size?
No, it's a bit wider.
Cannot be heavy here.
You got it.
So a great opportunity here in 8. Kayla Skrlik with her first for Alberta.
Line's fine. Full 4. Running pretty straight. Line's good. Still. Rock. It's really hanging.
Really close.
Full 4.
It's going to keep gliding here, so they got to be careful.
I think we're 2.
I'm just turning it.
We're there. We killed that.
5. Good. 5-4, guys. Okay. Good throw.
How far too deep was that, Russ? Or
Good judge.
Well, yeah, they wanted to be maybe top. They ideally buried sit 2. Yeah, so it's only a foot deep, but it's kind of interesting. I'm not sure they can double it off.
It's totally up to you.
Yeah.
So you
But
heavy
my
freeze, or I heard back line. It's not a simple shot here.
I don't think I can do. I don't think in order to make the roll that I'm going to be sitting like. They'll be sitting. I'll be first, but they'll be 2 and 3.
Okay, so are you seeing this then? It just knows that guy?
Well, I guess I can't get shot.
Should we call a timeout?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, time.
timeout Nova Scotia.
Timeout.
Perfect roll. I think I'd like to tap it a couple feet,
Just
get
see
it
what
out of
they
a 4-foot roll buried, but there's not a pile of curl there.
I mean, what's
Coach
our goal
is
at this
Stuart
point?
McLean.
Like, we don't want to give up 3.
Yeah.
So whatever our best option is to not give up 3. Even if we give them 2, it's not bad.
You're not getting a shot hitting this, right?
No. I mean, you could if you rolled in, right?
I think I could maybe.
Close.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it's either that or you can you draw this port?
I don't know if I can because that guard.
It would be hard from that direction.
I feel like I'll just crash on this guy.
Yeah. So if
But
you
even
played
crashing
this,
on that's not
if you
bad.
played
No,
this
that'll be
hit
line
and roll, how much weight do you need? You got to
the
get
same
it.
way you just threw.
Yeah.
Right?
I like the same way.
I think I throw more.
You wanted
because
it.
the
You want
line.
that to go into the 12-foot,
Yes.
don't you?
Yeah, you need at least back line.
And if you
Yeah, well, she's back 8, back 12 on her last.
and if even if you roll right in front of the yellow,
Yeah,
her
and
two,
then the
her
2
two
is
not
hard.
easy.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay.
I agree.
Make sure we
You can't
roll.
give up 3.
Okay. Yeah.
So I like that.
Stay pretty straight here.
What kind of weight?
Back line.
Back line.
Yeah. Looks pretty good to me, Tina.
We were discussing if they could play the
Awesome. You
out-turn
got this.
freeze through the port here on the right-hand side of our screen. And Christina said, oh, that's a tough line. If this hit and roll is made, Kayla Skrlik has to take that line to try to score her 2. So this is a great call. Good opportunity to force and also eliminates the chance of giving up 3.
Scoreboard call, isn't it, when you're 1 up?
We are back.
Hack.
Stay
Hack
close.
Her final stone in 8. The out turn from Christina Black.
Whoa, whoa, close, yeah. Whoa, 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 Jen.
Through the hole, no problem. Now trying to carve it over in time and make contact.
Okay.
It's not bad.
And what is left here for Team Alberta?
Same shot, maybe a little less weight. You can throw any weight you want, really. Anything from back button to board.
Really close.
Get the line right. There's a yellow double, but it jams on the third one. So the most she'll ever score is 2, but
Or you think it'll always jam?
Alberta would be pretty happy with 2.
As we check the skips numbers, player comparisons brought to you by New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Canada.
Now this has to curl to get by there. We've been documenting how straight it is. I heard the word
hack?
board. Oh, hack. There we go. Hack makes more sense than board in this spot.
You have 0 chance of the double, hold the
Yeah.
shooter, score
Yeah.
3. That's not
I think
possible.
so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cho looked, she was shaking her head before I got the question out. we need a camera up here. There's some great reactions to some of my questions today.
Hack down.
Final stone here in 8. Opportunity for Team Alberta to take the lead once again.
Ashton. Ashton. How much?
A lot of speed.
Yep. Hard Ash.
Yep. Yep. Hurt.
Oh, you're moving it. Oh,
Can Ashton save her sister? Carve it over. Got to hold the shooter, and she does. Lovely shot for 2.
We got it.
Just.
2 red. Yeah. 2 red.
Good weight and even better sweeping as sister Ashton helping Kayla, carving that over to score a pair. One more luck. Great job. 2 on the board. And a close game in our feature here at Kamloops. Sandman Center, home to the Kamloops Blazers in the Western League as they're off on a 6-game road trip. The Blazers obviously qualified for the Memorial Cup as that championship will also be held here. It is Canada's tournament capital, Kamloops. Grateful to be here for this year's Scotties, and a great match in our feature. 5-4. Alberta leads a big 2-8. So once again, Nova Scotia Yellowstones with Hammer trailing by 1. And Joanne, you've been a part of many of these types of games. Momentum, who has it? I mean, who's got the edge in a game like this right now?
I feel like Alberta has the momentum right now. They weren't trying too hard to get set up for a 2 last end. It was a mistake by Nova Scotia slipping behind the T line that led to that opportunity. So if you're Nova Scotia, you're mad you let them off the hook. They had a chance to put some pressure on and get that force. If they would have been able to force Alberta last end, I feel like Nova Scotia would have had that momentum. Maybe not the right side of the scoreboard with a hammer in the 9th end, but just that feeling on the ice. Sometimes it doesn't add up to what the scoreboard looks like.
I'll ask that question in 6 Rocks, and in a game like this, it could change, right?
True.
It's been back and forth all game, in fairness, you're right.
Okay. Good.
Just either way. Nice, Sam.
Are we guarding? I think so.
What? Guard.
Do you want to guard?
Nearly 8 o'clock local
Or do you wanna
time
turn
back
around?
home for viewers in Nova Scotia. Cheering on Christina Black.
Whatever you, if you feel like you want to make this, you can. It's just they're playing this.
Man, they got to stay late out east to watch the late draws.
Yeah, no, very.
Love it, though. We appreciate all our viewers, as we also appreciate Kathy Gauthier, who has an update on Sheet A.
Well, Stacey Curtis tried to make a run in on her first. She wound up promoting another stone, and that's the situation you see, 2 stones belonging to Andrea Kelly. Andrea guarded. They were going to play the slash, that yellow angle onto red, but the coach called a timeout, and now playing the hit on the backstone, prepared to concede 1.
So, Kathy, similar question in this game. Who's played better? I mean, who's been the sharper team?
The back end of the Newfoundland Labrador team has been the better consistent pair, but it has been Andrea, that big shot that she made. She's pulled her team out a couple of times.
So a big shot here. Stacey Curtis out of the Remax Center in St. John's, Newfoundland Labrador.
And I think for Eugene Trickett, calling the timeout, feels more comfortable with his team down 1 than if you play the slash and miss, you're down 2.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's too late in the game to give up a steal of 2.
So she plays that out turn, banking little information. You never know what you need coming home. In a tight game over there, 7-6 New Brunswick.
Good throw, nice shot.
Guard?
Yeah. Creates a good angle. Let's turn and she'd give me. You could probably even take the same.
Probably here.
Again, that Nova Scotia come around at the start of the end behind the tee line is not good.
Update time. Caitlin Laws, wildcard 1, and BC Grandy, Kathy.
Clancy Grandy had a relatively simple, in terms of close together, double on her first. Only got one and rolled out. And so Caitlin threw her stone on the 8-foot right in front of it. No way to hit either one of them and get shot. And so this is the draw.
Line's fine.
Struggled early in the game, but sounds like Kathy bringing her percentages up as this game has gone on.
Ashton. No, Ashton. T. Ashton.
Has a bit of backing, has to hang on, and will. So a single in a 5-5 game, and again, both those teams 3-2 records, a massive game on sheet D.
14, right? They just had a full.
I don't know if we blast.
Like, hit this one, this jams, but we can just stay in front of it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for like 4.
You like a 10?
Sure. Okay.
It was supposed to be a guard.
I think they were playing to come around and half bury top 8.
Oh, really?
Russ, just a little bit heavy.
Go right in the rings were interesting because they were in pretty good shape on the button there with the backing.
No.
10.
Gotta get it right.
Gotta go. Gotta go. Whoa, straight. Just pick the top one. Okay, it's all right.
And does get the red to go. That other red now frozen on that yellow stone. Shot stone belongs to Alberta.
Now it's frozen.
Just tight?
Just a guard. Yeah, just tight.
Okay, split center.
Perfect scenario to force here now.
Still fast off this path.
Yeah. You got it.
Just tight.
Where's the
Line's
perfect
good.
spot
We
for
have
this, Russ?
Well, it's probably a line shot more than anything. You don't want a long guard so that allow Nova Scotia to chase it, but keeping that guarded, it's tough to score 2 for Nova Scotia. Probably a 3.
And a 3 is that those zones on the ice, correct? So 1 is by the hog, 3 is there?
Well, a little tighter than that maybe,
okay.
but that's real good.
Yep.
1 is just over, 2 is halfway, 3 is a tight guard in the number system.
Right.
Yeah. Agreed.
What do you see, 11?
Left a point though.
See like an 11-5.
I'm right behind it here, Russ. I'm behind the sheet in the broadcast booth, and there is some room.
You need to. 11-5. Right at her. It will break.
This is very doable.
Clean. Good hack. Clean. Yes.
Yep.
Solid hack. Gotta go.
Yep.
Jennifer Baxter. This is really close. Got to squeak it by the red, though, just, and they clip it. And the yellow, though, keeps on moving. To their credit, they didn't quit on the shot. And they'll bring it in. Top 4.
Boy, sneaky spot, too.
There's been a couple sneakies in this game, hasn't there?
It just caught something in my hand. Okay. We got to clean that path.
And then you heard that there.
You're almost just guarding. This
A little bit of debris under the stone.
Yeah, just guard.
I kind of like the guard.
Did well to get something out of this shot, though. Opens up the button a little bit. And then rolling in for third shot.
Now there's a yellow raise, too.
All you can really do is guard if you're Alberta.
Yeah, drawing in tighter than the top one that just was thrown is just about impossible.
Line's good. Easy. Whoa. Half. Close. Whoa. Half's great. Or just half. Half is great. Half. Gotta stop. It can stop anytime now.
To that one.
No.
We're just overlapping.
Bouncing at all?
The double peel's fine.
Okay. Okay.
What was it?
Can you try it again?
I think so.
Or you double peel?
Good luck.
The silver medalists from last year keep on rolling. 10-2 the final, Krista McCarville. As they'll wrap things up later tonight versus Newfoundland and Labrador. But another win,
Good job, guys.
and they have officially qualified for the playoffs. Check that out. Pool B, McCarville, 6-1. Jones, 6-1. Remember, McCarville beat Jones, and that could be a massive tiebreaker situation there. Holman 4-2, and we keep talking about that game on sheet D, why it's so big. Grandy, Laws, both 3-2. St. George, Black on the ice in our feature. And it is going to be tight coming down to the wire. Only the top 3 will qualify from each pool for the playoffs. And that's why every game means so much here going forward. Just through the port. Oh, it wicked it. And another wick. That was so close.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
That was a tough break. That was so close to being perfect.
Yeah, it really
There's a little
was.
more weight. Yeah.
They could have played the out turn, tapped that previous yellow up a bit.
Oh, that's so
That's
close.
an awfully small port.
That port was barely there.
Yeah. See, the yellow could have been tapped.
Didn't have much space past that top red, and Rack's on the outside.
He's going to throw heavier and just do that.
Yeah. So do you want to guard?
I don't want. Sure. You don't like. You think this is
This
too tricky?
should run straighter
This,
now.
It's too
I
tricky,
know
you think?
it is tricky though, because you don't know if it's gonna cut or it's gonna stay straight. Like one of theirs just cut, the other one stayed poker straight.
Do you guys want to call time?
Yeah,
No.
just second rock down that path. But this way is not bad. Like,
Yeah.
we're not going way out into the weeds.
I
by
agree,
any
and we can
means.
just carve it past the guard.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah, I
you're
don't
just
think we
leaving her
can
this. That's all.
get
That's
more
okay.
You know, Russ, Joe, we've talked about,
Yeah.
Kayla Skrlik here for the first time as a skip. One thing we have not pointed out in this broadcast, though, is the strength of their bench. When you have Shannon Clybrink and you have Krista Webster back there, I mean, what two people that you can rely on in a big-time moment, pressure game, or a debrief.
Yeah, you have them and their experience. They've played in everything. Crystal Webster skipped for a long time, played third for Tracy Fleury towards the end of her career. So nice to be able to lean on their opinions and trust what they have to offer.
And they're about to do that right now as Crystal Webster comes out.
No, we're just debating the shot. Like we either guard or we come in for a second one.
Like coming in a lot. So, but like this side is, or is
Well,
that too
we were just
tricky?
like whatever turn you know the best. I think the out turn looks a lot easier, but the out turn and in turn might have a slightly better result. But I think it's just critical that you're in here like
for a second.
Like my fear is like out turn is we're going to be like here and she's just going to pay half.
So you don't want to be that deep if you're throwing
Yeah,
yeah.
We want to be there. Yeah, middle 4 is perfect.
Like you think we could-
and if
even
we're
top
higher,
eight
it's
isn't a bad
fine.
shot, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
This does look tough.
It does. Because it is tough.
too tight, then play the out.
Okay.
All right.
This should be lots of room to get by. Do you remember
Right,
this
because
one
we
that
were like
hung?
here to the draw the button.
Yeah.
And then like, yeah.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah, we threw one here early with 15-1 to the top.
It's a shot I thought Nova Scotia would try in the previous one and then tap that yellow that was partly open on the out turn side, top 4 to the pin. But this, I like this a little better. It's just that port's tricky. Obviously, you can go either way, but I think if you go in turn deep enough, like full 4, probably over curls.
Like top full 4 is like perfect.
Yeah, that port was hard to navigate with the
Mm.
top weight. It's barely any bigger now. Play the easier shot. Get one full 4.
I think it'll be very similar to your one that came top button.
Okay.
You got it.
Back 4. Line's good. You got a bit of room. Line's
Oh,
good.
close. Wait.
Back 4.
Line's good.
No, line
Yep.
that break. Yeah.
Line only. No, line's fine.
Line only.
Line's fine.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. You're good.
Line is fine.
Line's good.
Line
Line
only.
only. What?
To it.
Line is fine. How's the weight? As this slowly comes down,
Yep. Hard. Yep.
tracking in. Couple final scrubs. And it'll settle top 4 and without hammer. Alberta lies 2 here in 9.
Brett? I was like, it's coming off. It's coming off.
And there's that team we talked about, Shannon Clybrink on the right. So much experience And you heard from Crystal Webster in the timeout.
Really well-placed shot. Kayla used her sweepers on this one, and they managed it tremendously. Waiting till the end to get that curl. Just at 2.
Best skip drawer in the whole field, and that pays dividends, boy. You just apply so much pressure to your opponent when you get one in the right spot. This is very difficult here.
Back line. Try to hit this right on the nose.
They played it twice, so they've got a good idea, but a mistake here, well, not even a mistake. All but not perfect, and you're in trouble.
Bring it on the nose of theirs.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, we know what it does.
Stick with it because we can't hit that top red.
Okay. Yeah.
Can't hit the top yellow either.
So like a 410.
It's a tough shot.
For back line? Yeah.
Back line weight? Yeah, 410.
Step pinch more. Okay, never mind.
That is a tough court to navigate. Her first with hammer here in 9. Christina Black in some trouble right now here in 9.
Shelly! Oh, easy. Shelly!
Shelly Barker. Can they find the port? Trying to carve it over, and there's that chip.
That was really heavy.
Such a tough shot.
It was really good weight.
You're a little heavy.
Yeah.
At 12.5 on it.
It was really good.
They didn't want to call the curl or the carve early and have it take off on them. Just waited a little bit too long, and they're saying that the weight was a little heavier than they thought.
I had Shelly on earlier,
But let's be honest, like, what was the degree of difficulty of that shot? I mean, let's seriously, that
probably had a 20% chance, 25% chance of making that.
I guess the good news is she's played so well, she probably felt she could make it, and that's half the battle, right?
She's made 6 or 7 that I know of that have been harder than that this week.
That was a tough shot, and trying to tighten up the pressure now even more. Kayla Skrlik.
Top 4. Okay, line's fine.
Do not be deep here.
How much?
No. Yes.
Line's good. Chris, rock. Room. Take a look. Room.
To your point, don't want to overcook it. And they slide it in there, and my goodness, 1, 2, 3, putting the heat on Nova Scotia here in 9.
A little higher would have been a little better. Good shot.
Yeah, but I might be able to score.
Yeah, you might be
Joe,
able
is
to.
that just, are you just in the moment and you get the adrenaline and you're just like, to Russ's point, if that's a foot higher.
Yeah, you kind of get caught because this shot, even a foot light, not third shot, it's not the end of the world because Christina Black would have only had the slash on that side yellow. And as a sweeper, you always have to think tolerance, but you do. You get caught up wanting to make it perfect, wanting to put all that pressure on the other team. You always had to hold me back in those moments.
But you throw that a foot over the hog line, what you do? She's playing that angle raise, which is less than 20% for 1.
Right.
That's just something that you figure out with experience.
This is still tough, though, again.
Need to get to the nose here.
I don't really know.
No, it's for 1, I think, because she gets the inside.
But it's on the back one.
Big pressure shot.
Left weight.
Bottle Stone.
Yeah.
9th end, down by 1 with hammer, and she needs perfection.
12. Yeah. Whoa. Curl.
By the guard, no problem. In comes the house. Move the Reds around, bang it, and not enough.
Just 2. Okay.
And a steal of 2 for Team Alberta.
Good try, Tina.
Great try.
Too bad.
Just the 2. And what a game for the rookie skip, Kayla Skrlik, Alberta by 3. And a frustrating few ends here for Christina Black, especially here in 10 when she needs to try generate some offense. You see there the 2 in 8 from Alberta, the steal of 2, 4 points in the last 2 ends, really the big difference. And for Nova Scotia and Shelley Barker coming in deep. Now it's the hit game for Alberta. In our feature matchup, as Kayla Skrlik in her rookie debut as skip has looked impressive and continues to build confidence each shot, each game. Her team out of the Garrison Curling Club in Calgary.
Yeah, chance to win 4
Still
in a row.
on you. Yeah. I think we're even deeper in the house. We're like top 8. Okay. It's pretty hard to get 3. Little bit tricky.
Well, I give her credit. You know what? She great personality and a lot of spirit, as Joe said. Emotions on her sleeve.
And I watched her pre-event interview for the Scotties like a few days ago, and before the event even started, and she just has this energy about her. It just lifts you up listening to her talk about curling and talk about her team, and it's so neat to see her in that skip position after playing third for so long. Because Marianne was always so cool and calm and collected. And I always appreciated Christina for that bounciness and that energy, and I love it when you see it in the skip position.
You're okay, but it's good. It's good. Good shot. Whew, just as falling out there that I like tried.
A full day off for Team Canada. Already into the playoffs, 6-0 record, looking for their 4th consecutive title. Hi, Val Sweeting. Got a little wave there. And it's amazing, Joe, and I guess you can speak to this. A full day off. They're going to practice, obviously. They're back on the ice tomorrow morning versus this Alberta team, so maybe some scouting as well. What do you do on a full day off? What would you do if you were on Team Canada today?
Obviously prioritizing rest and, get a good sleep and fuel up. But then you also don't really want to lay in bed all day and worry about getting bed sores. You kind of still want to stay activated. I'm a nurse, okay? So I think about these things, Brian.
Okay.
You want to turn yourself every 2 hours or so. No, a team like this they'd have some team time, have some alone time, probably check in with their families, maybe do a light activation, go for a walk. It's pretty cold outside, though. And then they're here for their practice. They'll stay engaged in the bonspiel, but still take some time to reset, recover, and then come in refreshed tomorrow.
Do you totally shut the media off on a week like this, whether it's online, internet, listening to us? Like, do you shut it all down?
Personally, I did. I wouldn't even open any of my social accounts. I actually had my phone on airplane mode a lot, so I could kind of choose what would come through. Loved hearing from my family, of course, but you just can't risk having something sneak into your brain. As humans, there's always 98% positivity out there, and then that 2% of negative. You can't risk someone on Twitter with 6 followers ruining your bonspiel. I keep calling the Scotties a bonspiel, but that's what it is. It's the most important one for these curlers, and it's a major, major event. Everyone is different, though. Some people can engage and let it go, no problem. So they have to know themselves and what'll work for their performance.
Good.
So all of a sudden downhill in the 10th end for Nova Scotia here.
In fairness, Russ, we haven't seen a lot of play to the wing in the 10th end. We've seen play to the wing in N7 and 9 in a few of our feature games, and it has been shockingly fast. You expect that to come down a little bit because of the slide path getting worn in all game.
But that hog line in is going to glide.
Yeah, and as the thrower, it's so frustrating because there's 25 feet between the hog line and the house, and you just can't believe you didn't use it.
Clean.
So Alberta continues the hit parade.
That was a good throw.
Kathy, update time. She Day, New Brunswick, Newfoundland, Labrador.
Well, there's 4 rocks in play because Andrea made a double on her first to eliminate 2 stones, and lay 4. Stacy tried to freeze, bounced off just a wee bit, and Andrea picked it out. And so now drawing.
No backing.
Looking for the 4-foot. She is 93% this afternoon. Has played a terrific game.
And needs a terrific shot.
Yeah, you don't have it, so. We're close.
You saw gave up the steal point last end, the last time we checked in, and that is lovely draw weight for a 7-7 tie coming home in 10. And Kathy, while I have you, I know you've done a lot of coaching as well. what's your take on a day off like that, or social media at a junior event? Do you shut it down, take the cell phones? What's your philosophy?
Well, I mean, I never took cell phones away from teams, but it's just not a really good idea. People, for the most part, as Joanne said, that are reaching out to you are people that you know, and they're trying to be positive, but there's always some negative that filters in, and you just want to focus on the event. And you just want to shut your brain down because you work so hard on the ice. You just want to enjoy what you're here. But for Carrie, for someone who's got 2 young kids that are here, it's their way of connecting and staying involved. So that's really good. And I just think that rest is really, really important. Mental rest. I know the skips that I played with would just spend a day in the room by themselves, not thinking about other things. I would leave because I always roomed with them, and they would say, go away. And so I spent a lot of hours sitting around a pool by myself.
I would have asked Russ, but they didn't have cell phones back then.
Right.
So,
or TVs.
That was easy. Or TVs.
It speaks to how connected we are now, and I know the teams love connecting and engaging with fans and feeling that support, and I know that it's something that matters to a lot of these teams. And after these events, you reflect on how many people tuned in and watched and maybe were inspired, and it really does matter, and they appreciate that side of things too.
You got it. You got it. Right to your room. Yeah.
So time and rocks running out here for Nova Scotia.
Yep. No. Yep.
Yep.
No.
Yep.
Clean.
Kayla Skrlik.
Good.
Trying to make it go away, and she will.
Good game, Brittany.
And that is handshakes.
Good game. Thank you.
A wonderful performance from this team out of Calgary. And a massive win, 7-4, as they keep their drive to the playoffs going. Lost those opening 2, but my goodness, finding some momentum. And all they have to do is take a peek to their left on that bench, because they got Team Canada right there up next tomorrow morning, and that will be a great test right here on TSN. So let's move over now to Sheet D, another very important game, as these young women enjoying their little walk down the ice, and why not? They deserved it. As we'll check in on Sheet D. And Kathy, how about just a quick synopsis here of this game and what's happening?
Well, Laura Walker, trying to play a double and remove both stones, wound up only removing one. And so it is, in fact, the wildcard team Laws that is shot, but the guard just thrown by Clancy Grandy is causing them some grief.
By going like here. Then she'll have that.
So timeout, and out comes Selena Negovin.
Then it'll be totally open.
If we're only like edge on edge, she might play this one. Yeah, but
then we need to be here.
this is over Barry Joss. I think this is really hard to get shot. It might be there, but we can't take them both away.
Or can we, if we're like...
Yeah, I was going to say, what if we freeze, like, just corner right now, get to the red one and just tap it back?
Yeah, like we have to protect this one, so that's we have to be, if anything, on this side.
Yeah, fully.
I just can't overcurl.
Right. Like she can do this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So full 8 biting center.
Yeah.
Okay.
That should be enough at that angle. Is if she even makes contact, she's losing it all.
Yeah. Okay.
So full 8
I
by
like
center.
just full 8. If you are to
We
it,
talked
just
yesterday about the role that Selena plays and the absolute trust and confidence that Caitlin has in her, not only from their success early in the season, but just of what experience Selena has.
Need to get the line right here. If it overcurls, it cues up the raise. And undercurls would be a double.
Yeah, they want to protect that red rock back button, because right now it could be picked out by Team BC.
Pardon? Nipple center, so.
Yeah. For that.
Weight and line need to be perfect here.
Same kind of weight I gave you that last time I threw this?
Yeah.
So Caitlin Laws that won Scotties championship with Jennifer Jones, and the last win for Jones, remember, was 2018, Penticton, and Caitlin was chasing mixed doubles gold with John Morris at the Olympics. She returned back and won that world gold with Jennifer.
Keep it out there if you can. Keep it out there.
Keep it out there. Where are you? Line's good
And that's
now.
when Shannon
Line's
Burchard
good.
came in
Okay, easy
and
then.
won her first Scotties title, and obviously 3 more with Team Canada.
Just let it,
Pass
let
the
it
sit.
sit, let it sit, let it
Whoa.
sit, let it sit. No.
Sit.
Good, Caitlin.
Great
Good
spot.
judge. 15-6.
I don't know if I can. Maybe with like.
So we just shot the win for Team Alberta, and that is massive. Look at Skrlik now 4-2. Laurier St. George 4-2. Nova Scotia falling back that 3rd loss, and this game huge. Grandy lost both 3-2. Someone will drop to 3 losses. Someone will have win number 4. I'll tell you what, top 3 in Pool A, that will be interesting coming down the stretch. And you know McCarville Jones on the other side already qualifying.
Yeah. I think so.
I kind of saw it with mine. Like,
Yeah. I think
yeah,
here.
that's kind of the draw ace.
Yeah.
Okay, what weight are you going?
Just enough to move it far enough.
Yeah, they wanted Caitlin's draw a little bit deeper in the
Little
house
Yeah, I like
to
that.
make this shot even harder.
If we just move it off the button to say shot. I'm
Huh.
only throwing just enough to move it as
This
far
is
as we need
difficult,
to.
though.
Yeah. So similar to a couple ends ago, like with that back 4 kind of weight.
That back 4 weight.
Yeah.
Okay, we can still sleep in here.
Yeah.
So you got it.
This is fully buried around that rock top 12.
So you either hit as much as you possibly can with like a back 4-foot, or you throw like a back line and chip it out.
Wait.
Game on the line here in 10.
Close.
In a 5-5 tie, Clancy Grandy without hammer.
Hard then.
Hard.
Big carry now. Got to get it by the redstone first. Keep dragging. Move that second redstone. Bumping it up for shot rock. And they do, I think. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow is right. I think that one that was thrown is.
I think it's
close.
just shot, Russ.
What a brilliant shot, one way or the other.
And a brush that would make Joanne Courtney proud. Did that wick the red, or did that get right through? That was so close, just
They
papered.
just got it by.
So Jocelyn Peterman is confirming.
Back 12?
Just, yeah?
Back line? Or less? I don't know.
I was thinking.
Is it like edge on edge?
Yeah, it's missing a piece.
So then maybe a hair less just to make sure?
Like
back 8?
Yep. You just have to move it just off the button.
How about that stat?
You got it, Caitlin. Stay still.
Yeah.
Regardless, full credit, no matter how this game ends out, to the young BC skip, as that was very nice draw weight to make Caitlin throw her final rock here in 10.
Do you like that ace?
Yeah.
Same shot.
She can hold it here.
And handshakes over on sheet A, and how big is that? A win. Andrea Kelly, who made the podium last year. Kathy comes through.
And owned the 10th end. Stacey Curtis unable to roll her shooter to shot, and that meant Andrea did not have to throw her final stone.
And this young woman will indeed have to do just that to secure the win. That loss last night to Laurier St. George, Team Quebec. Final stone in 10. Caitlin Laws. So far, just clean out of her hand.
Whoa.
Has to tap the yellow, avoid the jam, be shot stone. And now Peterman trying to work it over, move it enough. Don't want to jam on it, move the red, spill it, and she will not be able to do it. Wow. A stolen win. Clancy Grandy, BC, that is massive. And look at the reaction from skip Kayla Skrlik. A clutch draw with her last from Grandy to force Caitlin to attempt that final shot, and unbelievable.
Wow. Yeah.
Joe, you've been on both ends.
Yeah, it looked like it was so close, just maybe a little bit more weight than they wanted, and it just would not curl for them.
And that is a tough one for the two-time Olympic gold medalist, Scotties champ. Here is wild card 1. And you even heard Clancy say, wow. Wow, wow, wow. But that is a big win for the host province as they are staying alive, moving on up the standings. As for Alberta, a big win. Wow. So, what does that mean? Skrlik, her win, 4-2. Grandy, her win, 4-2. Black losing, dropping back to 4-3, and now Caitlin Laws, 3-3. And remember, one of the main tiebreakers is that head-to-head. So that is massive for both those teams winning today in Alberta and BC. Over on Pool B, obviously McCarville, Jones in, Anderson in, already qualified for the playoffs. So, you want to talk about Pool A, how big is this? Laurier St. George, Quebec 4-2, Clancy Grandy 4-2, BC. Must win to continue that strive for the playoffs tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, as Vic Roeder is back. He'll join Joe, Russ, Kathy, Draw 15, Pool A. It will be a good one. 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. As the Olympic gold medalist, Nicodine, the coach, yeah, well done. As we'll step aside from Kamloops.
The 2023 Scotties Tournament of Hearts is presented by Kruger Products, the softest and strongest supporters for over 40 years. By BKT Tires and OK Tire. By Home Hardware, here's how. And by New Holland, proud sponsor of Curling Canada.
Welcome back to Kamloops, and we'll go back to our feature, and it's time for the game story.
And Team Black was a good bounce back from yesterday, but they were being outplayed this whole game by Team Alberta. Alberta not really pressuring too much, but took advantage of the opportunities that they had. Great draw weight from Kayla Skrlik today, leading into this big game, big day for them tomorrow.
And they got Team Canada coming up next. The game story brought to you by Tim Hortons, proudly serving Canada's favorite coffee. Clancy Grandy, always time for an autograph with a young fan. Got to be very exciting too. You're in your home province representing British Columbia here in Kamloops and playing very well, and a great chance to continue to do so. And you're the feature game tonight. Laurier St. George, 4-2 record. Clancy Grandy, 4-2 record. This is massive when it comes to Pool A. Vic Roeder will be back. He'll have the call tonight, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time with Russ, Joe, and Kathy. They've got you covered. We call it Moving Day, Wednesday here in Kamloops at the Scotties, and certainly there is some separation now in the field. We know Anderson qualified, Carville qualified, Jennifer Jones qualified for the playoffs, and who will join them? That is the question as we march forward at this championship. Thank you for watching here on TSN. We'll see you later on tonight from the Scotties in Kamloops.